Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new edition of the DLP Report Podcast live. This is eighth week. I don't know, 7, 8.
That's scary.
Lost count.
I lost count.
Have we done 7 live episodes?
I don't know.
Feels like 4.
I feel like everyone's gonna get so used to having weekly episode, and then we're gonna get back to normal life, and
Where we just meet up in person and don't record it.
yeah, like once every month and a half, because everyone is gonna have plans again. Hopefully, that'd be good news.
I think we've got a rhythm now. We should attempt to keep a rhythm.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome everyone. We have literally everyone from last week. Jeff from DLP Town Square, hello.
Hello.
And Elliot from Elliot's.
Hey.
Hey.
Voice crack.
Richie from Disney Golf.
No.
Surprise.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. Sorry about that.
David from David at Disney/Home.
Hello.
And Patrick, or Game Master, from the DLP Report team.
I promise the quiz is finished and I'm not finishing it now. So, I promise.
You know what? This week I have found the music you wanted for the quiz.
Amazing.
It took me a month to find it back, but I found it in our chats.
And I did send it to you. Like,
Don't have this music.
You did send it to me. Darren, hello. Are you here? Yeah.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Yes, back again.
And Viv is back this week.
Yep.
Jesus, Viv, have a beer or something. I don't know. We've all had one. How was the king? Apparently, the king talked.
No, he's done talking.
He's done talking. Okay.
What?
No, he's done. He's done talking.
Nothing new, right?
No.
I mean, there's nothing new anywhere. Did I forget anyone? Because we have so many people. No, right? I got everyone.
Is it fun?
Sorry?
What funny? Hello? Who's that?
I don't know. we have guests. Ghosts. Guest ghosts. We're still sitting at the same spot from last week. No one has moved.
I have recorded this, I think, in the same seat for 7 weeks.
Yep, same.
Yep.
I am
Wow,
sitting.
I'm wearing the same
Groove going.
Hopefully you have moved in between. If not, you should
No, I am
get
not
help.
a potato.
I'm still wearing the same clothes.
So the same spirit jersey.
Well, I'm sitting at the table that we usually record in person, so you guys know.
I miss that table.
I know. It's also the
I
table
missed
at work now because life.
I missed the piles of food that Ben would have at his house for us.
Yeah, I used to make chicken for you guys, but now I just have all the chicken before the show.
Yeah.
Anyways, so as usual, we should start with news from Disneyland Paris.
Great, that was it. We did it.
Yeah, that was it. We did it. Yeah. But so there hasn't been any official announcement, I believe, since last week.
Well, it's not public.
No.
No, nothing.
This year we didn't get an announcement 1.5 days before they were doing all these festivities for May the 4th.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I was looking at all the, and we'll talk more about May the 4th and everything. But I was looking at photos from everyone. Obviously, everyone and their mother has been posting photos from Star Wars things today. And remember that that like Hoth upside down photo location.
It was quite cool.
It was very cool. Was it last year? Was it 2 years ago?
It was. I think it was last year.
Was it really? I feel like it was longer.
Oh, was that? Wait, which one are we talking about? We're talking about the Paris one, which is like a cardboard cutout, or
Paris.
Disneyland, which
Paris
is like a
did
real
it.
set.
No,
Oh.
Paris did it a couple
Look
of
at
years
you
ago.
with the low-key shade.
Literally, I'm not kidding. Disneyland's was a set. Paris's was an actual cardboard cutout.
I know, but
It was
hey,
flat.
we had a fellow location. You gotta take what you can. When you're just a Paris fan, you just like. We had something, okay?
Yeah.
It's like when we have stickers instead of buttons. At first you're outraged, and then eventually you just kind of like, well, we have stickers, so.
And then you're like, they remembered!
Exactly. That's kind of like, oh my god, they remembered. But so no official news, but the Natasha show was on the air again.
Really?
You got,
Did it
clown
again?
music.
It was, yes, it was on Friday.
No, I think it was on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So who does that go out to?
Because whoever wrote this wrote May 2nd, which is Saturday. Anyway, so it was Thursday, and as usual, disclaimer, this is for their internal network, but obviously people can tell us what she said.
Well, they're not supposed to tell us,
Nicely
but they
put.
can.
Well, we're not posting it, but we can talk about it. So,
Yep.
The biggest question: when do you expect our destination to reopen? I'd like. Okay. Second disclaimer. There is nothing groundbreaking about this
Hey,
Natasha
can I say one
I mean,
thing?
it's
Imagine the shrugging emoji,
yeah.
and that's it.
I mean, it's like when you go and It's a Small World, and you like get excited to see them all move, and you think it's gonna change. It's not gonna change. Like it's the same animatronic. So the Natasha animatronic has now changed.
And it's already broken.
It's a bit
Yeah,
broken
it's like
sometimes.
broken. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. I'm glad I could feel it. I thought long and hard how to like fit that joke in there. Anyway,
It's more like the
very
prize
good.
of
The answer-
I enjoyed it.
the answer is we look forward to welcoming guests as soon as it is advisable, but it is still too early to announce a reopening dates. So,
I also think they genuinely don't know themselves. They're not telling
Of course they
anyone.
don't. Like, how
Like,
They know nothing.
Jon Snow.
So there was also a question about, so in France, they are forbidding gathering of more than 5,000 people until September 2020. And of course, Disneyland Paris has more than 5,000 people. Walt Disney Studios, I don't know, on some days. But anyway.
No, I think it probably will on most days.
Yeah. I mean, Frozen Celebration has... Anyway. So... Patrick has stopped going. But they...
Yeah, well, that's literally the only thing I like to do in that park, and then everything else can, the Frozen sing along, I love it, and then everything else, no, thank you.
Okay. But so...
Sorry, I promise I'm not looking at questions.
Patrick, finish your quiz. You have 20 minutes.
We are on the extra shade today.
right?
But so Disneyland Paris thinks that the restriction to 5,000 people does not apply to them, which is, I think...
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Because before they entered the lockdown, that 5,000, i.e. 5,000, 1,000, was applying to their individual venues. So I don't see why it wouldn't be the same after. Like, Mickey and the Magician counted as one gathering.
Yeah.
So,
I still think that it might not be something that necessarily applies to them, but it might apply to people in their heads, and so it kind of de facto applies to them. If that makes sense.
According to Natasha, it doesn't apply to us.
No, that's not what he said.
So-
It's like it's the mental state of people. Like, people think that people take the presumption that these 5,000s are blocked, so they themselves would just not go on that presumption.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I don't think that Disney are going to be screaming like, "Hey, we're not in the 5,000. Everyone come!" Like, it's just,
Right, and you
like,
can't,
yeah.
and you can't sort of open the park if the indications are that not many people are going, because then your park is running at a huge loss, and it's probably cheaper
intense
just to
loss,
keep
yeah.
it closed.
Well, I
Close,
think that
fair
is the
enough,
bigger
yeah.
question, isn't it? Like, everyone's like, when can we reopen? But also the question is, when does Disney want to reopen and under what conditions?
Yeah.
Because it might be cheaper to keep people on partial unemployment and keep the parks closed for another month until basically guests are more comfortable traveling. Because I think, I don't know, are you guys going to go the first week?
Nope.
No.
See, so...
I don't have a
No.
choice.
Right.
DLP rely too much on the international markets. Like, we're the only resort worldwide where our market is a continent and not a country. It's not nice that the other countries come to DLP and that's a bit of extra revenue. That is their
it's
core
fundamental.
market.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
As someone who lives quite nearby, though, I feel like I will, just for the simple reason being, it's kind of like a symbolic thing, just to be like, hey, I'm here. I haven't forgotten about it.
I mean, if I was close to it, I agree. I probably would go just to see it.
I'm not going to stop going just because, like, you know, I kind of feel like it's a bit like, I don't know, Disney and small, like, businesses, it's completely different. But, like, when this is all over, I'm going to remember the companies that are trying to, you know, like the smaller companies and towns and cities that are kind of like struggling sometimes. I'll always remember to go in and like give them a bit more business because like they've been open throughout the environment and stuff. So it's kind of, I know Disney's not it's not the same at all, but like I feel like as a conscious effort, I will make more efforts to try and show like people how I appreciate them and not just be like, man, I can go to Disney whenever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I think Patrick, also... you know, we're I love tweeting about concept art, but we're gonna need content, so.
Patrick, you're going.
I think also there's a lot of challenges around social distancing. There are so many challenges. Like, how do you keep people 2 meters apart in the queues? I know you could stand people 2 meters apart, but then switchbacks happen. How do you keep people 2 meters apart in switchbacks? How do you keep people apart when they're walking into the toilet? Because I've walked into so many people when walking into the toilets in the parks. Like, there are so many questions. And
well, Natasha
says logistical nightmare.
Natasha says our reopening approach includes consideration for all elements of the cast and guest experience, including physical distancing, cleaning measures, etc., as well as government and health authority guidance.
I guess we're going to see what like Shanghai does, right? In Hong Kong, because they're probably going to open first. So we'll see what they do.
It'll be Shanghai and then
indication.
Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be like a sea of you know when they have the parties at Walt Disney Studios and they put all the barricades outside for the queue, like when they did I think it was like Electroland, Magical Pride. Yeah, I think these are going to be basically set up outside on the plaza and just permanent for the foreseeable future. I hope Imagineering is already like working on some nice barricade design because we're going to need...
Hope you got all those pretty shots because...
we're going to need 5,000 of those.
Yeah. I suppose that starts from after security, doesn't it? Because people are going to be queuing before security in the train station and down to the parking lot.
Before security, you'll need on the plaza outside the train station, between the train station and security. This is where you're going to need the most because I think security has kind of like a slow output. So I feel like once
and then they're sort of temperature checking and that as well.
So that might slow down the number of people who get to the gates. I mean, they probably still will need barricades at the gates, but maybe not as much as security. Security is going to go like way back.
Yeah, and RATP will probably need to work on some queue or something to manage people trying to get back on a night.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Well, I suppose the car park will do well because more people will probably want to drive there or only be allowed to drive there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a weird one, guys.
€30 parking fees.
No far off from any of this even ever happening. Like it's crazy to think that it's been gone for so long. But like all this kind of like that's the thing that's a bit depressing about this whole situation is like when there's never going to be a point where they're just going to click their fingers and it's going to be back to where we were in like February or January. It's going to take us back to anywhere even near what that used to be. So it's kind of like it's a little bit depressing because you're like, I can't even like just enjoy because that's the one thing I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure for a lot of people. Disneyland and Disney in general is like magic. It's like an escape from the real world. It's an escape from your kind of like daily lives. Whereas really that's going to be kind of a whole big part of the experience where you're going to have to be considering, this person's standing too close. Or, I should really wash my hands because I'm out of touching this and this, that, and the other. Like it's going to be really weird.
I mean, everyone's going to be getting hand sanitizer outside every single attraction, right? Because like, I don't know, like on Space Mountain or Big Thunder, I mean, you could ride with your hands in the air, but at some point you're very likely to grab the bar, and then you're going to be paranoid. But also, it could be also, especially for people like you, Patrick, who live not far from the parks, it could be also an amazing time to have the parks to yourself because without foreign guests, and probably without many French guests either, the parks, if and when they reopen, are going to be probably completely empty.
Well, I've seen. I know it's to take that with a pinch of salt, but on these like Facebook groups where I'm not gonna. We all know what they are, but like on these Facebook groups of like people in the UK, and I'm not saying that they will, but I am seeing a lot of people. Do you think it'll be open by blah blah blah, or do you think it'll be open by blah blah blah? So I'm not saying that it's going to be like. I do agree it's probably going to be very dead, but I'm sure like certain people are kind of just desperate, ready to like on a plane as soon as it's ready.
I think it'll also. People will factor in travel advice, right? So, for instance, if you live in the UK and the government advice, which it is at the moment, is do not travel anywhere, even if they do go, their insurance is not valid.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, will we even be able to go into France? And if we're not...
Yeah, we will go in, but, like...
Yeah, but, like...
recommended.
They're like, and I know that's far off, but like in Ireland at the minute, they've said, I think it's the 10th of August they've given as a date where international travel will be possible. It's not saying that it will be sure, but they're imagining that if things go to plan, it'll be. I think it's sometime mid or late August. I really am not sure. I think 10th of August is pubs or something. I don't know, but they've given a date. They've given a date where in the mid to end of August, international travel will once again be possible. So, like, but then again, like that's the whole thing about this whole situation is it's like trying to predict the winner of the Euro Millions because you just really could have no idea. Like, there's no way to know.
It's not like the DLP Attraction League.
I think it also depends on like what capacity the park's open in. Because if you open and it says but there'll be no shows, there'll be no character meets, there'll be fast pass only for the ride. You might find some of the people who are like, "Oh, I'll go," whatever. Might be like, I don't really want to go anymore if it's going to be like that.
Yeah, maybe. Well, probably, actually. Yeah.
Katie says she has an Irish friend traveling to France tomorrow, so it's not impossible. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like possible, but I think you've got the problem with insurance, right?
But at the moment, you still need the form. So, the form with the reason why you're traveling to France, which is either family or work or because you've got a house there. So,
yeah.
All right. There was another question about Run Disney, and because apparently there's no sporting events until September, so it's kind of cutting it close, really. But Natasha said that the Disneyland Paris Run weekend is still scheduled to take place, September 24 to 27. But they will continue to adjust their operation and events based on updated public and health authority guidance. This is so like...
I feel like that's a bit of a jip for, like, especially like we said last week, American guests who are coming over. I feel like I feel like, okay, I know they would probably like to do it. I know it probably would be great to have a bit of influx of cash. I know it's a weekend that is usually very popular, but even when you consider, like, I don't know about you guys, but as someone who goes quite regularly, I don't really know any other weekend where the parks are usually as busy as they are for the run weekend. Like, it's just
busy. It's busiest I've ever been there.
Yeah.
So like, so I feel like it's a bit disrespectful to people who are like traveling from very far away to just not come out here and say, hey, you know what, we really would love to. If they really want to, they can just be like, listen, we're postponing it until 2021. Do you know what I mean? Like they did it with the other things, just do that as well. It's like they're codding people on, and I know that's probably not the intention, but they are. So they kind of need to stop selling this.
I think there was I think it was Ashley that was saying that there's a marathon or some type of run in Versailles that's been cancelled, and that's around the same time of Run Disney, so the week before, a week after. So that's gone.
And as Darren said last week, all the people who have to be like getting checked by their doctors in France and other countries, potentially, depending on local regulation, that's not going to be possible at the moment. So it's like, will they just waive that? Like, have you self-sign yourself
Why is it not going to be possible?
Good point.
Why is it not possible to go to your doctor in France?
Yeah, you can.
I'm going to my doctor tomorrow night.
It is possible. It's possible, but it's just overwhelming people, isn't it?
Are they going to want people like going to the doctors for a running form? Is that essential? You know, like, you can go if you need to go.
My doctor on my phone, when I told her what I wanted to call, she didn't tell me Like, I called her last week. It took me a week to get an appointment, but I called her last week and she never said... I said, listen, I want to go because of X thing. And she never said, oh, it's not, like, important enough to come and see me. She was like, yeah, but you can come and see me in a week. So, like, I do understand that, like, it's a logistical thing, sure. But, like, doctors in France aren't, like, turning people away because they can only see people.
If it does go ahead, I think I'd be torn between wanting to go because it's the 5th anniversary and not wanting to go because it's a huge crowd and the crowds and everything.
Yeah.
I'd be quite torn between it. I don't know.
We're going to have to run with the mask. I have friends in New York who have to go running with masks and they do it.
I still don't think it's going to... I think it's going to get cancelled.
Could you imagine the PR,
cancelled 100%.
like all the photos on a run of people with masks? Like, it's not what they want.
Like...
And like people do this for like character meets, and there's no way they're going to have characters out meeting people on the course if they do run it anyway.
Yeah,
so what, like the cast member's going to want sweaty people right next to them in this situation? I mean,
do they ever?
I mean, I was apologising to them all last year on the run, being like, I'm really sorry, I'm so sweaty.
How respectful.
Yeah, I mean, I think also commercially it might not make sense because if no one from the US and a lot of people from, other countries are not going to make it, like the run is a hugely international event, and so if it's just the French, they're not going to be able to sell it.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I haven't met many French people at all on the courses.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's about it. What else do we have? Reopening plans. Businesses are allowed to reopen on May 11, and there was a question of like, is Disney Village going to reopen?
No.
There was no answer about that. They said they'll continue to assess the situation and share more information when they're able to do so.
Well, they've told us before that they won't reopen Disney Village if it's only shops, which at the moment is the case because restaurants aren't allowed to open. So
yeah,
who's going to go?
They're not going to reopen.
I mean, it doesn't make sense because who is going to go there?
Me.
I think
no one enjoys going there.
I need my photo albums.
I think down the line, I think you might see the village reopening before the park, purely just to test out some social distancing.
Yeah
I think that as well, but only when restaurants are allowed to reopen.
Yeah, I think that's
What about construction? Like, is there? Like, I know we talked about this last week, but like I'm starting to think more and more. Like, if as France is going back to work on the 11th of May, and I know it says people that are like working from home should continue to try to do so, but like I'm sure. I'm sure. I imagine. Like, I'm not basing this on any fact whatsoever, but imagine like sooner rather than later, they're going to try and maybe start ramping back up some sort of construction.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. They should. I mean, like some construction has started outside of Disney, and apparently Hotel New York is being worked on. But I think the big one, Walt Disney Studios that everyone's interested in, I don't think has started yet. But it should. I mean, here in the UK, a lot of sites around me that
never stopped
are starting again today. Like they started again last week, and I saw some other ones started again this week.
But they were always allowed to in the UK anyway.
They were. But I mean, a lot of companies have sort of like
a lot of closed. Yeah.
Because I think like in France, technically they can't start. Like it's been 2 weeks already that they're allowed to.
But smaller ones have closed, haven't they? Yeah.
But then it's like every builder, every company, whatever
on the areas and stuff like that.
They can just decide for themselves if they want to start again or not. So yeah. So not many answers for you. Sorry. But maybe I was thinking also. Was it in the past 7 days that the drummer from Jungle Book Jive said that they were cancelled?
Yeah.
It was, right?
Yeah, it was last weekend, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know. Was it on the show? Did we talk about it on the show?
No, it was
on Sunday,
it was like in the past days. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tuesday, maybe. Who knows?
So yeah, I know, right? it was a day in the past few days. And
things have happened.
I think it was Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. So officially, the season is not cancelled. But I mean, who are we kidding here? Like, I think at this point,
of course, it's cancelled.
Like, even if the parks reopen in August, are they going to run a season for a month? It doesn't.
No,
make
because
sense.
there's no rehearsals.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing I could see them do is maybe bring in the main float and some of the characters for some sort of.
They can't even use the characters though, because they couldn't even do like routine or anything. Like there's been like zero like rehearsal or anything like.
Right, but they need
that princess show had choreography and it got put together in 2 days.
Yeah,
so.
But I think what Ben's saying is
wave
they
your
might
arms.
just.
I know, but like this Jungle Jive choreography, like it's not as good, but it's not technical. Like it wouldn't take a long to learn.
But it's set to music though, whereas that princess thing was like quite minimal, and I feel like
they could do it in a few days to put something together, not the whole show, but with.
I think
to be fair, whenever they know if they're gonna do it with a date, they can pull in performers before the park before the opening date to rehearse, as long as they're like having the measures that they need to do.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
But I mean, they could also just take the vehicles out, the plane, the train, the car, the whatever, and just put the characters in there and just have them wave on the parade routes 4 times a day.
I think the bigger issue with the Jungle Book Jive is you do not want to have a big crowd in Central Plaza.
Yeah.
Which is the most fun part. So, if we can have that. Like...
I'd rather see
it. Celebration was beyond its time. Wow.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Jungle Book Jive postponed to like next year and just have it in full again.
Yeah. And I mean, let's not talk about the Mata Dance, which was already sort of like borderline safety hazard last year. People packed together crazy.
We thought it was going to get moved to the hub.
Yeah, Castle Stage or something.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah,
but could they do the Lion King show?
No.
Well, you could do. Yeah,
they were still casting people for that in the last weekend, like in the week that the park shut. They were supposed to have castings for Mata Dance and Pride Lands.
Yeah, so that's not happening anymore.
No,
but didn't they did like video submission, so they're still casting stuff.
No, they stopped. All casting stopped, so they stopped as well. They did.
Those two, I saw it. Those two definitely 100% had a video submission request. 100%.
Yeah, a video submission, but then after that, the casting stopped because all casting is at home. They're not working.
That casting don't deal with that casting.
Yeah, but they aren't working exactly. I agree with Richie on this one.
Like, let's be real here. Like,
no, obviously, but not to say that they were still not casting people. Like, because they.
I imagine they stopped it. I imagine they stopped it though.
Like, I mean, are we going to be sad if we don't have the Lion King show?
No, who cares?
I mean,
I think
I'd rather have Jungle Book Jive.
It's pretty. It was nice.
If you're looking at
boring,
might have to be budget cut as well, right? Like, I'd rather the season just got budget cut.
Of course.
Jeff,
if you just,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Remember, you said last week what would Disneyland Paris budget cut? I found something they can budget cut: Frozen Celebration Season 2.
Yay!
No, because you don't want them to budget cut it, but still bring it back.
No, just budget
Frozen.
the whole lot.
Could budget cut the Lion King season this year because it's just cheaper not to run it, right?
Yeah,
it's cheaper and safer, so just don't do it.
Yeah, and if you only have a month left, then you have the best excuse.
Yeah.
Well,
you can just say, "Oh, it's safer not to run it, so we're not going to do it."
Also,
look at us taking like the evil kind of head of Walt Disney Company. Look at us. We fell into that role ever so easily.
Also, Hotel New York is supposed to open in like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So, is anyone going to tell people who have reservation like what's happening? Because
that's a good point.
Apparently not. Apparently the opening is not delayed.
Partial unemployment.
Yeah,
well, I mean, DLP have said to everyone that if you book up until June 30, that you should request a changement of date before May 15. So if you're booked with Hotel New York, it's up to you to cancel. Like, it's not like Disney has to tell you should cancel or like move your dates.
Right. But I mean,
sure, but there's no hotel for to sleep in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's something to do with insurance that Disney has to tell you. I think that there's definitely something with insurance that Disney have to inform you that you have to move your booking. Because if you do it early, I think there's some insurance clause that means like you have to be informed that it's not possible. So I think they're advising people to literally wait until they know for a fact that it's cancelled and then claim.
Yeah, that's true. And apparently people who've booked in July are apparently getting emails from Disney saying like, we advise you to move your booking. But I mean, I'm not sure how far ahead they're sending those emails because I haven't got a booking. So
yeah. And I mean, on the website, it still says if you have a booking from July 1st and later, your booking is confirmed and you're still coming. So
exactly.
Anyway,
we'll see.
Yeah,
it's a waiting game.
It is. Hopefully, we get more information next week because obviously we'll still be stuck here next week. Will France be open next week? No, they got another week after that.
No. There's stuff happening May 11th.
Week, right?
It's on the 11th, so
Monday.
So next week we'll have a French.
You're in a red zone or a green zone, orange zone.
Also, it's only happening if there's less than 3,000 people in the hospital on Thursday, and currently it's 3,809. So I mean, it doesn't seem like we're getting out of this soon.
Well, here we go.
I think ours is getting renewed as well. So hey, fun times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the theme today for the music is
it's not Star Wars.
It's not Star Wars. So
we forgot.
Who really wants to hear a Star Wars score? It's great, but on a podcast
with the movie,
we could have done Hyperspace Mountain. We could have done Star Tours. We could have done Imperial March.
Right.
Is there anyone in the chat that doesn't like Star Wars, or is it just me?
So
I'm kind of a casual fan.
I had never watched it.
I enjoy it in the parks.
I had never watched it until November, so I mean.
So the answer is we're all kind of not really that fussed about Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean, it's grown
I love
on
Star
me
Wars.
with the past season.
Richie and Jeff
Star
are.
Wars.
Sorry,
For me,
I love Star Wars.
For me, I like the universe, and I love the
characters.
Yeah, just the universe. The landscapes, the planet, the characters, and everything. But I'm not hugely invested in the story. I mean, I know obviously the basics, but if you were to ask me about a specific characters from I don't know 6 movies ago, I'd be like, oh, I don't know.
I've only seen the sequel trilogy. That's my biggest.
Oh, right, yeah. Go to the music bit.
Yeah.
But that's okay because you were dead before the first one started.
I was.
So.
Oh my god, Elliot! Go watch the original trilogy.
I have Disney Plus now,
they are some of the best films
I
ever made.
I think I have seen the original trilogy when I was 6. I don't remember.
I've seen it all.
Well, I've seen it.
It's grown on me.
I have not seen the original since I was a kid as well.
I watched on Saturday night. I watched The Empire Strikes Back, and it's just that is the perfect film sequel. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's one of the best films ever as well. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great film without being Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? It's just a great film in general.
Yeah. So
I will watch them all.
So we're not going to play Star Wars music. The theme today is Nighttime Spectaculars. And so I will take the first song. It's a short one. And it is one of my favorite soundtracks. It's from Celebrate Tokyo Disneyland, which only ran for a year, I think.
Oh, I love this show.
It was
a
show. It was really cute.
2 years, I think.
2 years?
I'm sure.
No, I think it was
they
only
had
a
a grand. I think it was just over because they then had another 6 months being the grand finale or something, didn't they?
True.
Well, they might have
I think
extended
it's
it.
a year and a half.
But I mean, look at us with Illumination for already 5 years, and
feels like yesterday.
And they have a year and a half shows that they just wipe away.
In Tokyo though, and Disneyland. Disney World has a show for 15 years.
That is true. Yeah. Anyways, it's from Celebrate Tokyo Disneyland, and the music is really cute. So we'll be back in 2 minutes with the quiz. See you in a bit.
Is it finished?
it's time. Time for the quiz.
We had a biscuit-filled conversation while we were away.
Snack talk.
And pigeons.
I have found the original quiz music. I'm quite proud of myself, Patrick.
Yay!
But now, Patrick, have you found the actual quiz?
Yes. I finished it moments ago, I think is the phrase.
Moments ago.
No, I'm good.
Is there a theme this week? No, we don't do themes anymore.
No. Apparently, people don't want themes, so people aren't getting themes.
Oh, I like themes.
Okay, well, I'm not.
You're the one who doesn't like themes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're sorry. I hadn't. That song was so quick. I didn't even have time to write down everyone's name to count the score.
I know, because there's like 10 of us on the show now.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm ready.
Okay.
Are we ready?
So, do we still have to say your name?
Yes, please. I feel like. Good God.
I need to say it just to remind myself.
Okay, right. Question number 1. Are we ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay. In what year did Bob Chapek begin working for the Walt Disney Company?
Oh man.
1.
6.
Richie.
Yep.
2010.
No.
Elliot. 1993.
No.
Sorry.
1993.
Well done, Elliot.
Oh
Google.
my God.
Wow.
I swear to God, I did not Google.
Really?
How did you guess that?
Yeah.
I remember
correct
it.
answer.
I read through the when he got CEO. I remember reading through his bio. He worked at Heinz before.
Natural segue on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it all makes sense now. When he was trying to take the ketchup out of Casey's corner, that's what he was going to replace it with. It's all a conspiracy.
Well, if he invented the Heinz means beans with Z's at the end, then I feel like that was a great promotion. That was like genius. Whoever came up with that. Okay, question number 2. Well, yes. Question number 2. To the nearest round number, how many stores can be found in Disney Springs?
Oh, Richie.
Yep.
60.
Nope.
Ben, 45.
Nope.
Is it more or less?
It's more. It's
Round
more.
number.
Is it more than Richie?
It's more than Richie, yeah.
Oh boy.
David.
Viv, 72.
No.
David. 90.
No.
Jeff, 120.
Nope.
It's got to be less.
It's less than 120.
Are we counting the restaurants?
No, just shops.
Oh, there's loads of tiny shops. Like,
Well, yeah, that's why it's a fun quiz question.
Elliot, 100.
Who hasn't guessed yet?
Are we counting the
it,
cupcake shops where David and I met for the first time in 2004, 5?
Sprinkles.
15.
They're romantic.
Elliot,
Oh, I love sprinkles.
correct answer is 100. He got the correct answer.
Who did?
Shut up.
Elliot.
I got it right.
Elliot already guessed it, didn't he?
Gee, Elliot.
Yeah,
Well,
that's only
did
a
not.
second guess, man.
Maybe you can
Exactly
guess
100.
several.
Yes.
Okay, then
When
I
was
won't
my
give him a
first
second
guess?
point, then, but the correct answer is 100. Okay.
What? No, I want to contest. What? Can someone tell me what my first guess was, please?
You can't contest.
Wasn't it 72? I don't know. What,
No,
I-
that was me.
There's
That was
way
Viv.
too many people to be listening to. I have no idea.
Second.
Next question.
Next question. What?
Next question.
Yeah. Oh, which?
points for me.
Okay. In what year did New Fantasyland officially open in Magic Kingdom?
Elliot,
Richie.
Elliot.
2013.
No.
Richie.
David. 2014.
Richie.
2012.
Correct.
But I feel like it wasn't finished and then dedicated to 2013.
No, it was dedicated on the 6th of December 2012. So there you go.
At the cool
Because I
flying
went in 2011 and it was all
So
walls.
there.
Mansion wasn't even open, right?
The
Yeah, that's what I'm
dedication
thinking.
ceremony is when it was officially opened, so that's what I found. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
they had the cool dragon and stuff, right? That was really cool.
Yeah,
Never
and they had
seen it
I've
again.
never seen again.
Jordan Sparks selling it at it as well, I think.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, next. Which park venue held the world premiere for Disney's The Lone Ranger on June 22nd, 2013?
No idea.
Like
park or park venue?
Park venue. It's a venue in one of the parks.
Darren.
I'm
just going to, California Adventure?
Yeah, but what's the venue?
Oh, the venue.
Oh, what's it called?
Jeff,
I know that.
Hyperion Theatre?
Oh, wow. We didn't let Darren have his go, but okay, Jeff, correct. I thought we were going to be fair play and let Darren have a little stab, but apparently not.
No.
Okay, correct. It was the Hyperion Theatre.
Okay, the gloves are off then, right?
Yeah, get the sauce or milk.
Yes. Okay. Disney fan community, like this is not the best friends race.
Next question. What's the name of the female host at the Lucky Nugget Saloon in Frontierland at Disneyland Paris?
Jeff. Goldie Diamond?
No, that's the puppet. I want the name of the female host. No, not the puppet. The female host.
Jeez, no idea.
Anyone?
No, I think I've only ever had like the guy. I don't think I've ever had the girl.
No, we had to go when we went
to
dinner. Yeah.
I mean, Clementine was my host last time. She got us to her table.
Yeah, that was definitely the question, Ben. Now, I'll give you a clue. It's like it's a traditional girl's name, and it's a very common girl's name.
Like a French common.
I mean, there's a lot of choices there. Come on.
Lucy? I don't know.
No, not Lucy. Everyone just have a guess. No.
No, I got no idea.
Don't know.
Anyone?
No.
Pass.
It's Charlotte.
Oh, no idea.
What's her last name?
I don't know. She just says, "Hi, my name is Charlotte," and then because I know that because we talked to her one day when my parents were over, and she came over and she was talking to us, and I was like, "Is your good?" I was like, "What is your name really Charlotte?" She was like, "No, it's Angela." I was like, "Hi, Angela."
Awkward.
Way to break the damn magic, Angela. Yes, your name is Charlotte until you clock out. Come on.
She was actually able to speak Irish to my parents. It was really weird.
My name's Charlotte, but you can call me Angela.
Yeah.
God. Only in Paris, people. Only in Paris.
Next question. What is the name of the quick service restaurant in Mystic Point in Hong Kong Disneyland?
Oh, darn it. I knew this. I was literally looking at it yesterday.
I thought it's like Mystic Delights or something like that.
You were? Why?
Wait, David.
Explorers Club, right?
Explorers Club Restaurant, yeah, correct. Well done, yeah.
Oh. No way. Oh, awesome.
That's our name.
Yeah, that's why
it's not.
It's
not our name until like one day, like marketing went, do you know what will make sell this place better? Let's just slap an elephant on it.
Call it a pizza outpost, because that makes sense. In the jungle, everyone eats pizza. We're the elephants.
There's some really cool things in that restaurant too. It's really depressing that they did that.
Well, of course, elephants eat pizza. What can you say? It just literally sells itself.
But in there's some really cool like harkbacks to the tiki room and stuff. It's a really cool place inside. And then
they turned it into Starbucks.
Yay.
On that topic, I feel like Disneyland Paris or Euro Disney at the beginning, a lot of things got like dumbed down from what the Imagineers did, and I feel like, for example, like in Shanghai, I don't feel like, I mean, obviously, we don't go there all the time. Maybe they are too, but I feel like they're not like changing all the names because people don't understand.
In Shanghai, it was dumbed down. In Shanghai, it was dumbed down already. But isn't Mickey Avenue enough of evidence of that already?
Well,
that's a really cool. Like it's Adventureland where this has been worse done, right? So you had the Adventureland Bazaar and all the kind of cool marketplace passageways where they just went, let's make this a buffet and put some tables in there. It doesn't work, but at the same time, it kind of does. It's really bizarre.
There was the drum shop as well.
It works if you don't.
It's
it
really
works if you
nice,
don't know what was
though,
there
in
before.
Agorba Cafe is really nice, except if you sat in like the back room, which looks like a tent and it smells like plastic floors. But if you're in the front part, it's nice.
But they did it with Hakuna Matata as well, right? So it's just that whole everything in Adventureland. They just like went, let's put a character on it and just see how it goes.
Well, Agorba Cafe, they didn't. They could have done an Aladdin restaurant, and they didn't, which is kind of dumb because I feel like that would have worked. It's kind of like the one thing that would have worked they haven't done.
It was a really cool original idea, though.
I feel like Hakuna Matata isn't as bad as an idea as just sticking like an elephant on the restaurant. It's like, who likes pizza?
Hakuna Matata definitely works. I think that the theming works with the Lion King and everything. It's kind of like a good match.
Yeah.
And international guests are all like, "Oh my God, there's a restaurant after the Lion King. This is so cool!" It's pretty unique, I suppose.
Yeah, no one's sort of like going, "Oh, I want to go to that restaurant. The one, it's like the elephant that appears in Jungle Book for about 20 seconds. I want to go to that one."
And there's no mention of pizza, but it's heavily implied that he loves pizza.
And sometimes he even enjoys his microwave pasta.
Like, at least if you're going to
I don't understand how that needed to become a pizza place. Like, it's such a. I mean, what research was done on that?
Tony
Baxter
is so pissed about that. Like, so pissed that they did that.
No, but like, at least they could have leaned into it. Like, here's the Jumbo Delight, where it's like just like a meat feast pizza, and not just it's kind of just the same things in Bella Notte, but you're in the jungle now.
Here's a star pizza.
But I feel
the same thing as the Bella Notte, right? So I think in Disneyland Paris, we complain about the food, yes, but all the restaurants, the fast food, they have like their own little thing, right? So none of them are exactly the same menu-wise.
And you get
with Bella Notte and Colonel Hattie's are just like, here, have the same menu. Pizza.
Well, now Bella Notte has the pasta and meatballs, but
yeah, you can't. I don't think you can get them in the jungle. They haven't found veal.
No, that's true. I think.
No, but I mean, like, I feel like this location, and maybe not back in the 90s, but these days, who doesn't have Chinese, Thai, Indian takeout? Like everyone, and so everyone likes that food, and it would be a perfect opportunity to have that kind of food in the park. It just does not exist.
Like a Bengal barbecue style menu inside Colonel
Exactly. Have something that's kind of like centered around like some curry or some Thai flavors. You can just mix it. You don't even have to call it that. You can just call it something exotic and make this like fusion food.
Burgers on a stick.
Cafe de la Bruce as well. That's underutilized. That should be like a Bengal barbecue type thing. But
I know what you have to do is put a little band in there, like the Cowboy Cookout, something like that, and you've got a bit of atmosphere.
Yeah,
but I think in France there's loads of like Asian like buffet restaurants, because I remember a while ago there was like talk that Colonel Heaty's was going to become a buffet.
Well, it was in the brochure.
But they announced it.
They put it in the brochure.
Yeah,
it did.
But I mean, there's also plenty of pizza places and burger places, and still we have them.
No, but like if they just made the Colonel Heaty's like changed the name already and then just put it into like an Asian kind of like Chinese style buffet thing, because like I know we say about like different whatever, but like I feel like people would definitely go, like especially like French people, because like they like that's a thing that in every city, like 10 years ago when I started living in France there was nowhere to get Chinese food anywhere outside of Paris, and now it's like every town has like a Chinese buffet place.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. So like I feel like it's a thing that like it would give a bit more diversity. It would mean a bit more kind of like like you won't be just seeing the same things all the time. And if they really wanted to, just set a little buffet up, and then you can charge €35 for like things you're just like defrosting.
Exactly. The buffet you could get for like $9.99 outside Disney, they could charge €34, and people would totally buy it.
Yeah, it's different. Anyway, okay, next question.
Sorry.
Oh, it's a quiz.
Oh, yeah, it's a quiz.
Almost an eliminations question.
It's coming. Which character... Oh, I haven't read the question properly. Which character hosted the defunct Epcot show Kitchen Cabaret?
Oh.
Richie.
No, Richie didn't host it.
Carrot?
Sorry?
A carrot.
It's coming up with the...
No, but they have names though.
Oh.
Yeah. They all have like puns Like their name is like a pun.
Oh,
Keith the Carrot.
No.
David.
No.
David, sorry?
Bon appetit.
That's correct.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, I remember this now.
What is the
That was so funny.
Bon
I'm
appetit.
lost.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Ben, do you speak French?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now I've just got veggie fruit in my head.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Veggie fruit.
Next question. In which Disney park can you find stores called La Petite Parfumerie, Harrington's Jewelry and Watches, Town Centre Fashions, and the Golden Galleon? Jeff.
That's Disneyland, no?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you were in Square.
Elliot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Tokyo Disneyland Park?
Correct.
Yes.
Damn, Elliot is on fire tonight.
Yeah.
Google is on
happening?
fire tonight.
Yeah. No Googling, Elliot.
How would I have time to type those 3 shops in the time?
I don't know.
You only need to type in one to get the answer.
Speed typing.
But no, I'm not cheating.
No, we're joking.
How many days has Hong Kong Disneyland been closed for so far?
Oh boy.
Oh, I know, Ben. It's been 100.
100 even, correct.
Yeah.
Really?
Because-
100 today?
Because I saw it on Twitter today.
That's exactly where I got the question from.
Yeah, it was HKDL of Fantasy or Main Street Main Street Gazette or one of those.
Yeah.
It was HKDL Fantasy, yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at the page.
They do a really good job over there with fan accounts. Like they have like a few mini DLP reports.
Yeah,
But
really
the
good.
only thing I don't like, and again, I'm not having a criticism, but the only thing I don't like is because like we're so far away, they sometimes put like literally like 60 seconds videos on YouTube. I'm like, honey, I'm here for 10 minutes. Like, let's give me some more. Like, no, but like I understand it's like, oh, here's the thing, but I want to be like, no, you can stay for 10 minutes and I will literally watch it all. Yeah. But that's probably just me because I've nothing else to do with my life.
They're doing a really good job at going close to the entrance and taking those like big camera photos of the castle, which is almost done actually.
My least favorite Disney castle, but that's okay.
Well, you have to see it in person.
Yeah, but I don't. There's not a whole lot. It just feels like a mismatch, and you can see it way from where you're not meant to see it, and it's just.
I feel like they should have just taken the old castle away and started from scratch.
Yeah, start again.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's.
I'll wait to see it.
Construction-wise, it's really clever.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, the fact, like slotting that thing on top is like it looks insane.
It's like jank.
So Imagineering, though.
Yeah.
Okay, how many countries are represented at World Showcase in Epcot?
Richie. 11.
Correct. Yeah. Well done.
Wow.
I'll give you an extra point if you can name them all.
Okay. We start at. We're going left around there. So we start at Mexico.
Oh, you go left, do you?
I know.
Yeah, it's
left.
tradition. You always start left. You always start with Mexico.
You go left because you start at the tequila bar in Mexico. Because if you go right, you have to start with beer in Canada. But it's easier to start with the tequila in Mexico than the beer in Canada.
So obviously, this is all about alcohol and not culture.
You have to name them in order, Richie.
I'm going left.
Yeah, whatever way you want to go.
Okay, so you have Mexico.
Yep.
Then does that lead to Norway?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then is it Italy from there?
No, China.
No.
China.
No. Oh, China.
And then Germany.
Germany.
Italy. America.
Japan.
Japan, Morocco, France.
UK,
then Canada.
UK, Canada.
That weird African thing in the middle somewhere.
And then bees. Then they have the bees stand.
The bees. The bees at Joffrey's.
B movie.
Which temporary attraction replaced Muppet Vision 3D in Disney California Adventure?
Richie.
Yep.
The direct replacement for it that came straight after. Or like the one that's only rolling.
Sorry?
So like the one that directly replaced it, or the one that's on now?
No, the one that directly replaced it, yeah.
Did they show Honey, I Shrunk the Audience in there?
Maybe, but this isn't the answer I have.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Was it not the Frozen?
Yeah, it was
Frozen sing-along.
Yeah, Frozen. Yeah, for the first time in forever, Frozen sing-along celebration. It opened on... So the Muppets closed on November 4th, 2014, and then the Frozen started in 2015.
They closed Muppet Vision for 3D for Frozen sing-along.
Frozen was hugely popular. It makes sense.
Yeah. Sadly,
But, like,
But also, it sort of fits into that whole like Disney tradition of like closing a theater and then going, I don't know what to do with it.
Hashtag Studio Theater.
The superior version is Hollywood
Studio Theater, Discoveryland Theater.
Was it a bit of a PhilharMagic version, Richie?
Let's just refurb.
Was it a bit of a PhilharMagic version?
No, I think it was like the full show, I think. Or they might not have had Sweetums. I don't know, actually. I don't know much about it. I only know like the MGM Hollywood Studios version.
I didn't even know they had it.
Only for a short while, I think.
Okay, next. Which abandoned Disney venture was codenamed Project Lester?
Project what? Sorry, you broke up.
Project Lester. Which abandoned Disney
Lester's
venture
Possum
was...
Park.
I don't know, but someone is typing.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's me.
It's not me.
I'm on my phone.
Will I give you multiple choice?
Okay.
America.
Sorry?
Your quiz is hard
Disney's
today.
America.
Elliot?
Was it Disney's America?
Nope.
Okay. See, I'm not cheating.
Not cheating just by throwing the answer.
Will I give you two answers and you can choose between which one?
Okay.
Okay.
Dubai Disneyland or Disney Wharf at Sydney Harbour?
Dubai Disneyland. That was
it's
never a
the
thing.
Sydney
Didn't
one.
say your
No?
name.
They looked into
They said
Sydney, I
that.
think, didn't they?
Because
Sorry?
they did study a park in Australia.
They did, yeah.
I think it's a Sydney one.
Yeah, it is.
I know that's a thing. Oh, there we go.
There you go. I don't know who to
they
get points on that one. I feel like it's a team effort, so everyone...
Yeah, it's a team effort.
I feel like it's a point.
It was
Didn't they
they
say there was really not enough visitors or something because the country has less population than they thought?
well,
it's
they
very
were
sparsely
looking at...
populated.
Well,
Yeah.
when they were looking at before Hong Kong Disneyland, they were apparently looking at Australia, and then Eisner was like, "No, Hong Kong," and then they were looking at it again in 2007, but they abandoned it for
because they had some data that said that Australians just travel to Asia. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, and the last question is: so Ben is on 2, Richie's on 2, Elliot's on 2, David's on 2.
Oh, wow.
So let's just have it for those and whatever. Which Disney theme park opened 13,534 days ago?
What?
Have a guess, Ben.
Hold on, I'm trying to count.
Which park did you say? So which Disney
David.
park?
David.
Yep.
Tokyo Disneyland.
Okay, that's your guess. What's your guess, Elliot?
13,000.
Oh, Ben, Hong Kong Disneyland.
Okay,
That would have been my
Elliot.
guess.
What if I want to guess Tokyo Disneyland as well?
But that's not part of the game. Richie.
Oh no, 13,000 days.
Yes, Ben.
No, Ben, I think you're right.
No, that's
Yeah,
less.
that would've
That's
been-
Because it's
That's
about
about-
15 years.
Tokyo Disney Sea.
Well, I feel like I'm just going to give it to David because he was the first one to say it. Yeah, the correct answer was Tokyo Disneyland.
Because you said David first.
Because David buzzed in first.
He did.
Yeah, it's like 30-something years, right? So that's
yeah, it's 444 months. And whatever that is.
This has been a controversial quiz this week.
Well, when has it ever been plain sailing, Jeff? When sailing?
We're starting to contest the game master.
So there you go. Correct.
The
winner this week with 3 points is David. Congratulations.
I think we can agree we're all stunned at this.
I'm not stunned with the type of questions you were pulling out the other day. Like, what is this goon from this tiki god from Tokyo Disneyland?
Hello.
This goon from the tiki god.
Hey, he's on a table in the Tower of Terror.
Right?
Oh, he is. Is that in Tokyo Disney Sea?
Yeah.
Because they have a weird little what's he called?
Shirukate Teddy or something.
That's it. Yeah. They have little plushes of him and stuff.
All right. Well, thank you, Patrick, for another fantastic quiz.
Patrick.
You're
Claps
welcome.
for Patrick. Woo!
Thank you.
I'll finish at least 5 minutes before you call me from Skype.
What were you doing all day?
I was actually working.
Okay,
surprised. I'm the most surprised out of everyone that I was working today.
Teaching the future generations of kids.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's what I was doing all day.
So, as usual, you get to pick the song after the quiz, and it's a nighttime spectacular. Which one is it going to be?
Oh, yeah, I wanted Illuminations, but I was vetoed hard by Ben.
A veto. I was like, no way, no.
I went for the next best thing. I went for Ignite the Dream in Shanghai Disneyland.
Which is exactly the same.
It's not exactly the same.
How did that get past you, Ben?
Ben let me have it. I know a cute story though. When I travelled all the way to Shanghai Disneyland, we spent 3 days in the town before we went to Disneyland because I was there with my best friend Shane, and I was like, he knew if we went to Disneyland first, I would be like, well, I'm staying here for the week. You can just go to Shanghai. So we got there and we booked into the Toy Story hotel, and we were there the night before we were going in for our first day. And there's in their downtown Disney, you can actually stand on the bridge, which is a pedestrian bridge that goes to the car park.
You can get a view, don't you?
You can get a proper good view of the castle. So I remember watching Ignite the Dream from there and just sobbing my heart out because I was in Shanghai Disneyland. So yeah,
pretty cool.
Aww.
Memories.
Oh.
I can't wait to go. I'm supposed to go this year, but obviously at this point, I think this is pretty much a done deal. All right, so
I don't know.
I'm going mid-October.
It's towards the end, right?
I actually have tickets to China for mid-October, and so let's see. Anyway, all right, so let's listen to Ignite the Dream, and then not the whole thing, just the theme song, and then we'll be back in 3 minutes.
That is smiling on you. Don't let
All right. Well, Ignite the Dream. It is kind of the same, guys. Why do I bother telling you we're back on the air?
We're all reacting to the song. We're all like,
it is
Illuminations.
It's a nice version.
It was the same song.
It is kind of the same song, isn't it? But there's like another version that has some different lyrics at the
No,
end.
the version that we have is the one that they used during the trials that they changed.
Yeah.
Right.
With the guy. Did your one that you played have a girl or a guy?
Girl.
Yeah, it's only the demo that has the guy.
Really? I thought it was full time had the guy.
I don't know. I looked up Ignite the Dream song, and that's what I can.
And isn't over there the opening in Mandarin and the ending in English, or the other way around?
Yes. Yeah, something like that, I think.
Okay, that is not what I had.
Oh.
My apologies.
Did you just accidentally play Illuminations?
I might have.
I think you might.
You'll have to like check on the replay on the podcast feed to see what I played. Please send me angry messages.
So Patrick got his way.
Yeah.
Yay!
He might have, but Jeff, you have the next song, you know.
In all fairness, like I know the middle of Illuminations creates a lot of mixed feelings from people, but the start and the end are pretty legit. It brings you where you need to go.
Yeah,
it's like here's all the music and here's all the lights and here's all the fireworks. It's like if it just did the start and the end, it would be a great show.
Yeah.
About a month before the show debuted, they released like a video of the opening playing on the castle model, and I was like, "Oh, I think this could be quite good. I'm quite excited." Little as I know.
And then you saw it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I remember on debut night, me and Seb, we stood together and watched it, and then neither of us said anything for like 5 minutes after. We just turned to each other and just went, "Oh."
I remember watching the live stream and just thinking, "Oh dear."
It was garbage, especially following John Legend as well. Like, you just watched John Legend play live, and it was so nice. I think you get that.
Even following Dreams, like you go from Dreams into Illuminations. It's like, what the hell have you done?
I remember being at the press event for the 25th, and I did it for the first
So
time, and then
that's the first time I met you.
At the end, maybe were you at the press event?
I was at the press event.
But he wasn't there.
But then I remember at the end of the performance, like obviously all the like Disney comms people and like the VIPs and all like were around us, and like I kind of turned around and then they look at me and they were like, "Yeah," because they saw my face and I was kind of like, "Oh, all right."
Well, that happened.
I mean, like Disney animation is not on the grand scale of things. It's an impressive show, but on the Disney,
it's not even mapped properly.
On the Disney bubble world, it's just kind of like.
I have a lot of friends who are not Disney people and who really, really, really enjoy Illuminations.
I think
it is impressive.
I think it's a good show if you're not immersed into this, like Ben said.
If you have no context,
the whole Disney shows, and
if you have no
what
context,
this thing can be. Right, and that's the thing. Like, if they do the guest satisfaction surveys, it comes out high. Of course, it does. Did you enjoy the fireworks? Yeah, it was pretty, and things went bang. And it's like, okay, that's exactly what I want from the show as a casual guest.
But if you watch on the watch parties with the videos there and all the comments, everyone's going, "Oh, we've got to go and see this. We've got to go. We must go. We must go."
Exactly.
What you mean, Disneyland Paris fireworks, as it's now called?
I mean, the casual theme park guests who go every few years or with their families and stuff, like this is who this show is made for. They called the research people and they were like, "Give me a list of the 8 most popular movies."
I don't think they even did that
in Europe, and then
I don't think they did
China,
that. And
Beauty and the Beast.
Played them in Europe.
I think the selection of films and things are not bad. It's just how everything's stitched together. It's just not very good.
I think it's bad.
And they also put all the good films in Dreams, so like they're kind of stripped for choice,
Well, you can it's like parades. Like, just because The Lion King is in one parade doesn't mean it can't be in the next parade. Like,
it's a bit different for a spectacular though, because like unless you choose a different song.
Well, they've kept The Lion King, for example.
Yeah, but it's different song.
They keep trying to make Finding Nemo a thing in these nighttime shows, and I just don't feel it.
Yeah, stop trying to make Finding Nemo happen like anywhere.
Like, it's a cute movie, but leave it at that.
It doesn't work on Parade, and it doesn't work on Eliminations.
And the transition from pop into Star Wars as well.
Awkward silence.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars on the castle is just kind of like. I mean,
could you imagine?
I just don't have any of that.
It's cute for like when I first watched Dreams, but you know. Although it is
Pirates
cool, like,
bit's good.
The sound system is so good when the Star Wars music starts playing. It's like, you know, it's really good.
And when but as well,
it's because it wakes everybody up. Yeah,
because it's right after Beauty and the Beast. Maybe no. I don't even know.
I think so.
It's after a very lot of slow songs, and then it's like, oh, what's this? What?
The bit when they turn,
so it's an awkward pause, and then it just goes into it.
Chewy.
The up balloons.
Yeah. I really missed the Tangled bit. The Tangled bit of Dreams was just beautiful.
Yeah. I know, and
like that's how you put a slow song in there.
Yeah. And I miss
Hunchback scene was the best.
I love the Facilier bit as well.
The Facilier bit.
The bit when the screens used to work was extra amazing.
Oh yeah, when they had the eyes on each side.
Yeah.
They were like blinking metal eyes. It was so Discoveryland at the same time. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was brilliant. That was so good.
Happily Ever After actually lifted quite a lot from Dreams. If you watch certain scenes and like certain clips from Happily Ever After, there's like certain animation points and stuff. Yeah, they literally lifted like the Hunchback scene and like the Friend Like Me scene, but I don't mind because like the Hunchback scene is so good.
Like, this stuff's good. They were the only ones who realise it.
They're probably like, why did they remove this from their show? This is like the best bit.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dreams had been going for 5 years, and it was time to change it. So it's not the question.
Okay,
is not
was it time to change it though?
Yes.
They could have added a few new scenes.
Yeah.
It would have been the original.
No, it was time to change it.
The problem with Dreams was that the projections were so tired after that period. And I remember watching it just before it went and just going, yeah, this is a bit tired now.
Yeah, because it's always the same story. We've been seeing it for 5 years. And
the technology wasn't so sharp.
Yeah.
Thing is, they could have upgraded Dreams and put like a pirate scene in it and stuff like that. They didn't have to change the...
Like,
you could leave the start at the end and just change the middle bit.
They said that Dreams was going to run for 10 years when they first invested in it, but guess they changed their mind.
It's not like they would run a fireworks for 20 years.
Yeah.
They'll run Illuminations and Netpop for 20 years. It's not like they're against running things forever.
But you know,
like Disney and Paris, they change it quicker because at least they can sell it as new. We have a new nighttime show when it's literally just the same thing, but they've just kind of reworked it. Like compared to like
how
the
many attractions we'd have if every cheap new thing they added, they put all the money together.
But I mean, like, I don't understand. It's so easy to change one scene and do a whole marketing campaign and get everyone to come back to see it.
But I think Paris's marketing is very much like, here we have a brand new thing. It doesn't matter that it's only slightly different. It's brand new.
Yeah, but they don't do that with Illuminations.
Well, they did.
No, but they did for the 25th anniversary. We're like, new or fantastic nighttime show, new or brand new parade, new hyperspace mountain.
That's their thing, right? Everything has to be new.
The problem in DLP is they can only focus on one thing for the year, and they could like last year it was Marvel, this year was Lion King and Jungle, the year before 25th. Like they have their one big thing for the year, and they only put resources on that, so everything else kind of sort of falls by the wayside a bit and doesn't get as much attention.
Parade. Yay.
You look at the way the US parks market themselves. It's just like, come to Disneyland. It's freaking magical. Like, of course it is. It's Disneyland.
But I mean, the good news is that we have an anniversary in 2 years, and there are plenty of new franchises that are doing great, like Coco, like Moana, the music, and probably a few other films. So hopefully these make it into the parades and the nighttime shows, and not just more Finding Nemo.
Finding Dory.
New Finding Dory parade.
Well, technically the float in Stars on Parade is a Finding Dory float. Because that's like Dory's parents, even though remember they were missing for like 8 months or something because they were on refurb or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that was the elimination bashing. Anything else negative you guys have to say about eliminations? No.
Yeah, Illumination sucks.
Oh, okay, good. Well, we have questions, so let's just get right into it.
We're already at questions. Wow, we're speeding through this one.
I mean, it's been an hour and 25 minutes already of shows, people.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Time flies.
Time flies when you're bashing Illuminations. What can you say?
We could go for hours. All right, so, well, the first question is about something else we're going to be able to bash.
Yay!
It's from Eduardo, and he says, because today is May the 4th, I told you we'd speak about May the 4th again. When will hyperspace go? What do you think is coming after? And why has it been here so long?
It's Star Wars and it's new.
Does anyone like it?
No.
I don't hate it.
I mean, it's a roller coaster, right?
So it's fun, like when you're riding it, but like I wouldn't have it by choice.
Yeah.
It's fun when it works properly.
I feel like even the
right?
I feel like even the projections. I feel like in the projections, even in the inside, is like so outdated. Like regardless if you put like Mission 2 or like the La Terre à la Lune, I feel like. Do you know when you're like seeing the Death Destroyer or Star Destroyer or whatever? I don't know what it is.
You see the frame around it.
And it's so bad.
You see all the pixels. I'm like, oh, it's 62 pixels. It's like,
And I'm kind of like, I wish that they would have like cut some white screens, the shape of the ship, and then you can project on it. And even if you like make it slightly bigger and then make it go smaller, it will still give the effect of it moving without having like all this sort of like white space around it. It really, I mean, you really see the screen and like the square of the projector, and then you have the ship in the middle.
So
it's
bad.
Really kind of stupid.
To be honest, I don't really remember it. I've only done it like 4 or 5 times.
Really? It's got some good bits in it. It's got bits where like when the X-Wings are like dive bombing and stuff, and the way that the coaster does that is quite cool.
Yeah, they do have some cool LED things.
There are some.
But the projections are still like less than SD. It's like, I feel like regardless of whatever replaces it, I hope there'll be money to at least replace the monitor, the projectors, or whatever. And
or even the onboard music as well, because that's quite often.
It's been broken for like months.
And it's the 25th anniversary in June, isn't it? This year.
Yeah.
Wait, 90. Wait, it opened in 95.
It's in 95.
95.
20.
Yeah.
So
25 years.
Oh yeah, 25 years. Yeah, it's 2020. I thought it was.
I
don't know what I thought it was.
Well, they were gonna have sort of one of these free Infinity AP parties for it, weren't they?
Yeah, they were going to do the original music into it, all that kind of stuff.
But we will have
really kicking the teeth when you watch Imagineering Story, and they talk about how it's like the new crown jewel of Imagineering and stuff like that, like the Renaissance, and they talk about Space Mountain, and you just think about what it's turned into, and it's just like such a kick in the teeth. Like,
you guys all know that my problem with Discoveryland in general is what they've done with it. Like,
they trashed it. Yeah.
But the problem is, like, my main problem with Hyperspace Mountain is that you have this beautiful themed building, and when they made the decision to make this building in particular with this cannon, this is a commitment. You know, it is there, and this is a commitment to the story. And when you build something like this, when you build Space Mountain in the US, it's a white building. You have more room to sort of imagine what you want to put inside. Our building is just meant for the storyline. So they knew when they built it that it couldn't be changed, and yet they changed it. And now it makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. There's no way you can make this canon work with Star Wars ever, at all.
No, but I would be even less.
Even if you paint it blue,
I would be okay to have like a very temporary overlay. Like I would overlook it for say they want to bring
for May the 4th, for example, all this week or all this month, make it Star Wars.
Yeah. Like if they want to bring it back for the Star Wars seasons that they used to do, or they want to bring it back for May the 4th, and it's like, oh, you've got a month to try it as hybrid. Like I'd be totally okay if they did it for a month, but it's been 3 years now. Let's
because I feel because of. Sorry,
the sign is so temporary. They took the old sign off put Hyperspace Mountain on, and you can still see the back supports of the old sign, like stuff like that. Just great.
But look how quickly Disneyland could just change theirs.
Yeah,
it was overnight, wasn't it? It's incredible how quickly they can do that.
There's not a whole lot to change. It's like flicking a switch, and we're putting this projection on now instead of like a Death Destroyer or whatever. I don't know.
But the reason for all this
nothing makes sense there.
The reason for all this is the same as Illuminations and as why they change the Once Upon a Dream Parade into Magic on Parade. It's just marketing needs to say there's something new, and it is a cheap way, fast way to use a popular franchise, and then you can have a whole campaign on how there's a new Star Wars attraction. The US builds Galaxy's Edge, and we just change the music and the video, and we have a new Star Wars attraction.
It's sad, isn't it? Because they should just have confidence in the product that's there.
Yeah, and there's
a way they don't. Like I said, like the marketing is just like it should be. Come to Disneyland because it's Disneyland. It's magical.
You can be shot to the moon. Yeah,
I would.
The problem is not so much
like we have a Lion King thing now. Okay, great.
But the problem is not so much Disney. Is I feel like it's more the consumers, because the consumers will not react to, hey, we have a new Jules Verne's upgrade.
But they won't. But they react to here's a family. They're having the time of their lives. This is you're going to cherish this for the rest of your life. Like that's what people react to. They react to emotion.
They will I genuinely feel, and I'm probably a bit like extreme on this. I genuinely feel, regardless of what the theme a roller coaster is, people are like, oh hey, it's a roller coaster. I want to do a roller coaster. I'm pretty much certain that like you would get the same amount of wait times if it was Space Mountain Mission 3 or if it was Hyperspace Mountain, because people want to go.
Space Mountain is a household name across sort of the Western world in itself.
But they just want a roller coaster. They don't really care what it's like. They're like, okay, I want to go on a roller coaster. They're not like, I want to go on a roller coaster that's themed to a Wild West train that's running away through a mine train. They're like, oh my god, big tournament, let's do it. It's a roller coaster. Like, do you know what I mean?
I am not going on this ride because it's themed to Jules Verne.
But you know what I mean. They need a marketing campaign, and when you have a new marketing campaign, you need something to say. And so you can't do a marketing campaign saying like, "Hey, Old Space Mountain got upgraded with new lighting and colors."
No, but
you wouldn't say that.
But if you just go and say, "Space Mountain is now Star Wars."
Yeah, but it's been 3 years, and we kind of got the message, and I can't remember the last time they were like, oh yeah, they did for season Legends of the Force. They were like, oh, and try Hyperspace Mountain, but like I don't know how far they're dining out on like Hyperspace Mountain. I feel like basically what they could have gotten twice as much PR out of it by saying keeping Hyperspace Mountain around for whatever Legends of the Force was running to, and then having a thing on it back by like, oh, come and try Space Mountain Mission 3 or Mission 2 or whatever. They could have got even twice as much run out of it, but they just kind of got lazy and were like, man, we've said it's Hyperspace Mountain and we'll just keep it like that for like ever.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is also a better, because they could have a marketing campaign every year saying that every year in May, for example, Space Mountain becomes Hyperspace Mountain, and then June 1st it goes back to the good old, and for Halloween it could become Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy and have some monsters in there all of October, and then just go back on November 1st as normal, and then you have normal Space Mountain for 10 months a year, and then you have 2 special Space Mountain.
Sure, but I think like the advertising campaign doesn't always have to be
single night.
Here is a new thing. Like the advertising.
Is that what you call it?
Sorry. The advertising campaign can be, here is something that is just magical, and I think people do react to that. Like they reacted to the duck commercial. Disney was stupid and just pulled it like straight away, but that thing went viral, and all the comments, if you look on the news websites, were, oh my gosh, it's Disney, it's so magical, we should all go. Like, I don't know, there's just no confidence in the product in marketing, and it's really depressing.
Exactly.
They have an obsession with like synergy, right, as well. They're all about like how like all this shit that we sell to people, like products and stuff, how that fits in with the parks. They just want everything to be linked in with each other, and I don't think they see beyond that anymore, and it's a bit sad, because like, well, we can't sell Space Mountain anywhere but in the park. Or if we get someone to go and see Star Wars, they can go and buy loads of Star Wars toys after, and that's a bit sad.
Yeah.
It just kind of brings it back to the point, if they actually had any decent Space Mountain merch, we would actually buy it. But that's like, tick your bingo card off there, because that's merchandise's problem. Like, if they actually made decent Space Mountain merch, like, you know, those little the way they did the really terrible quality Hollywood Tower Hotel like mock-up thing, if they did like a Space Mountain one and made it great quality, that's the thing like all like fans would want. Not even because I like Space Mountain, it's like I like Disneyland Paris, and this is like represents the place that I like more than anywhere else. Like
we were talking the other day how this building got put on the Mickey 90 Worldwide Celebration Merch. Like, it's an iconic building.
Yeah, it is iconic. So the other question is from Cone. I'm grouping them by theme. Coon. I will never learn. He says, now that Galaxy's Edge is completely open, how do you look back on this project? Do you think it met the high expectation? And knowing now what WDI can deliver, what would your dreamland for Walt Disney Studio be? And should Star Wars Galaxy's Edge be cancelled in Paris?
Yes.
This is a loaded question.
It did not meet my expectation, but that's not Imagineering's fault.
Agreed. Yeah, totally agree. 100% with
so let me. For me, I'm a fan of theming and themed environment and all that front. It delivered 100%. But for someone who is not a huge fan. A lot of the details were probably lost story-wise, and also because it doesn't take place in the first three movies that were released. So 4, 5, 6. I did not really recognize a lot of the iconic stories and characters of Star Wars in it. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, well, there's Chewie, but like most of the rest, I don't know. I feel like you don't see the classic characters that you used to see at, for example, Star Wars weekends and that you see in Paris. So I love the immersion and I love the whole thing, and it's really fun. But I feel like, to me, it's not really Star Wars. Does that make sense? It is, but it isn't.
Yeah, totally.
But I think probably it's they wanted to make it more timeless, but I feel like those characters are timeless already. So I don't know if there was really a need to make it more timeless than that, because they're already icons, like Darth Vader.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think
we sold the dream? That's what it was,
Do you think it was just Disney's way to try and kind of convince itself that their new movies were just going to be as cherished as the old ones, and they kind of took it back?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Because they wanted to make sure they rely on the new movies to make those more profitable, because it's all the tie-ins and the this and that, and also laying the space for future developments. TV series, movies. Like, you could totally fit a Mandalorian story in there. You could just shoehorn it somewhere somehow, it would work. But if the whole thing is really themed to timeline, but I mean,
but it is in the timeline because it is referenced in Solo. I watched Solo last weekend. I mean, and there's a really throwaway line. It's really kind of like.
But if the whole land is the Death Star, basically you're kind of stuck with that, and then you can't really go in other directions very easily.
Yeah.
I was really surprised when I went to the gala, because I'm not I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I am an Imagineering and whatever Disney can do kind of fan. And I went there, it's not it's really cool, but I was really, really, really surprised that even I tried Rise of the Resistance, and that was really cool, and I was really kind of just surprised at how kind of indifferent I kind of felt about it all, because it didn't feel like a great atmosphere, but I felt like there was something missing. It just didn't really feel.
I think what's missing is kind of the connectivity of it, the noise. Because all the rides are in show buildings. So Big Thunder Mountain, you can hear that. There's no something you don't hear things. It doesn't come alive. Live.
And because Bob gets all the very atmosphere, so
everything was cut exactly. You can literally walk around the land and see all of the stages which are built into the land, but just have stuff dumped on them. It's kind of like, this isn't a purposely built stage.
But I feel like even they could have had more droids, even not ones that roam around. They could have fixed droids that do different things, or have more things that move.
Right.
I think it's so funny that they tried to make they promoted it as such an interactive land and all this kind of stuff, when in reality I think it's the least interactive land they've ever made in a way, because it feels like you're walking around a prop room.
I mean,
remember, it's like you will get a reputation and it will follow you around the land.
Yeah, that lasted.
You will have a side personality. I also think that they were so obsessed with making it able to deal with large crowds that it loses some of its charm because the walkways are so wide. And
they tried to turn the whole.
That's okay.
They tried to turn the whole thing into a product instead of making the land the product itself. Like, so much of it is pay extra, like the lightsabers and the droids and everything. That they put more focus on commercializing the land instead of making the land a commercial success.
And they cut the damn sea ticket.
If you look in Pandora, when you walk around at night, you can see that the land is so alive, and it's only done with like lights and sounds, basically. But you see all the plants. I mean, some of them move a bit, but I mean, mostly it's just the lighting changes and you have those noises and everything, and you feel like the whole place is alive. But in Galaxy's Edge, it is a bit still.
I think. Though,
do you remember
for me, Galaxy's Edge,
Joe Body's shade that he threw on Galaxy's Edge?
For me, I think Galaxy's Edge is. I think Galaxy's Edge is really, really detailed, and it really pleases me as a place to be. But I think if you add in that streetmosphere, because I think that's probably the key ingredient that's missing, right?
Definitely the key.
Yeah,
definitely.
Some villagers, some droids.
Yeah,
the people who live there.
I think you add that stuff in, and all of a sudden it feels like a land. And it feels like a place, right? And I think that's going to be great.
So how much time did we all spend in Disneyland in August, right? And we didn't hang out in Galaxy's Edge, apart from in the cantina. We hung out in like New Orleans Square, because that's like the nice place to be. And Galaxy's Edge doesn't have that. You don't want to sit. You don't want to get a drink and sit and hang out. You just want to go and do the rides, have a walk around.
New Orleans Square itself has more streetmosphere than the whole of Galaxy's Edge.
I mean, I went to Galaxy's Edge a lot. Basically every day I would spend at least an hour there, but
you went there for 3 days.
Oh wow, really?
But just an hour because I was excited and I wanted to see it at night and I wanted to like eat at the canteen and I wanted to ride it again and just be there because to me I've been to Disneyland many times and that was kind of the new thing. But it is true that like after an hour there, you just kind of walk around and you look at everything and you're like, okay, well.
Well, I think, like I said a minute ago, right? It's just a living place that isn't living, and I think the fixes, to be honest, are really easy.
Right?
They just cost money.
Yeah,
humans.
It's already there, just ready
humans.
to be done.
They need more humans in that.
They just employ some more people.
But maybe it will come.
All of a sudden you're great.
It will come. I mean, now obviously we're going to be in like austerity for like the next 5 years, but
but almost I'm scared that it won't. So I feel like once you've learned with these Disney products, once they're released, there's very minimal changes to them.
I think it will come just because I think eventually they'll just realize that it's the right thing to do.
But do you not think they're making the same mistakes twice now that they're trying to get all these people to work in Avengers Campus to have a superhero backstory? Do you not think that they're just gonna like try and cheat it again?
But I think these things won't happen until there's a leadership change. I
mean, you know that like Marie-Pierre from France is not gonna have a Marvel backstory after the first month.
Yeah, the first person I asked in Galaxy's Edge what was their backstory was, and they were like, "Oh, I just work here for the credits." Like they obviously were fed up of being asked, so they tried to make a joke out of it.
I'm sure some cast members will get into it, but I don't know if it'll be land.
A lot of the Rise cast members are awesome. Like the videos that I've seen of all the Rise casts, like some of them really get into the role, like the ride operators and stuff.
But you sort of had to like audition for those.
Do you remember when they surprised cast members in Disneyland and Disney World later on to tell them that they were going to be opening crew for Galaxy's Edge? People were so excited.
Yeah. But then I think the land sort of
what happened?
Anyway. All right. Well,
we didn't ask the second part of the question though.
The last bit of the question is: should we have it in Paris? I mean,
no.
I don't know.
I think the issue is
fundamentally
on the French side of our team, a lot of the guys really, really love Star Wars. I think maybe Europe might actually have a bigger following.
But it was going to be a lesser.
But does Europe love Star Wars, or does Europe love a generic R2? Does Europe want the iconic Star Wars characters, or do they
remember
want...
they floated the idea of doing sort of Batuu during the Empire era.
Exactly.
I'm sure that was considered at one point.
Also in 10 years' time.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I think Star Wars will have staying power.
As a new land opening in 10 years' time, would you?
But I mean, look at The Mandalorian and look at all those different things that they have planned for Disney Plus and all the. I think they're not going to let go of that franchise that easily. I mean,
I am absolutely shocked if one of the Disney Plus series does not at least take place on Batuu.
Oh yeah,
I mean, August Cantina, the series.
Yeah, but I think it would also be a very wise thing for them to do, because I think if they start doing that, then the popularity increases, the chance for investment increases. Like, I don't know, I'd like them to do it.
Yeah,
I think we're still going to get Star Wars Land, to be honest, but it's going to be a modified version. They're hopefully going to
see Mandalorian smashing wraps in the next series. You'll know that they've got the hang of this.
Yeah.
Right. I think they should have spent the Star Wars budget on Marvel, and they missed an opportunity.
Star Wars is still popular. Like,
it's still popular, but the Marvel movies as a whole do better.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah.
But Star Wars is still. I think Star Wars is cross-generational, where Marvel isn't quite there yet.
I still don't think, though, that just from what I'm seeing around, and I'm judging this based on my own family and friends and whatever, I don't see as much devotion or enthusiasm for the new Star Wars movies as I agree. Personal opinion.
True.
Star Wars is very kind of nostalgic, and for the people who were young or who were brought up with the original trilogy, it's a very powerful thing. Just as powerful as we were probably brought up with Disney movies. It's just as powerful, but I feel today's youth is not as connected because the market's quite saturated on space, great graphics and visual effects. The market's really saturated, whereas when you go back to 1977, not a whole lot of movies were going that far. So I feel like Star Wars gets off, kind of gets by on that, and I do feel, but then again, it is my only just my opinion. I do feel like there are more appealing franchises that would probably be cheaper and easier for Disney to just be we'll just do Princess Land in Paris.
Yeah.
And
well, to be honest, for me, the reason I feel like I don't really connect with the newer movies is because they seem to just have average Joe characters and not really iconic characters that make me dream. Whatever. Yeah. I don't even know the name of the guy. What's the main guy in the latest movies? Whatever. He's just some average Joe dude.
I think the worst thing they did with Kylo Ren was take off that helmet. I think, I don't know, any sort of mystery around that character.
I think that was for the ladies.
I was going to say, I don't think people complain about him taking off that helmet.
No, but the intrigue with Vader was there because he was helmeted. There was that kind of, throughout the whole series, you had that, ooh, who is he? You knew who he was, but what's the guy under the helmet? Whereas when you see Jedi, if you saw if you showed the Return of the Jedi face in episode 4, you might have put you off a wee bit.
So his neighbour was Darth Vader.
Yeah, if you saw Darth Vader's real face.
Yeah, but you had that all the way through. That was kind of a running theme. That's something that kept you going. You wanted to see Vader unmasked at the end. Yeah. Whereas for The Force Awakens, he was just I'm done with this, right? Anyway, I'm done with the helmet.
They kept putting it on again and taking it off. They kept okay, I don't want it anymore. And then the next film was no, I've made it again.
In Rise of Skywalker, he randomly fixed it, and then he was just
that kind of sums up the whole trilogy, doesn't it? Just a choice, then changing the choice, but then reinstating the choice, but then re-changing the choice.
I've only seen the last one, and I went with my friend who is very much into Star Wars, and we were in the cinema, and it was near the end of the run, so the cinema was kind of empty, so he was talking to me, so I wasn't really his experience, and he was like, "That's not a Star Wars thing. That's not a thing. Oh, that's a thing." Telling me all the things that weren't Star Wars things, and I personally thought that was the best part of the movie, because he was like, "Nope, that's not a thing," and "Nope," and I was like, I literally. felt so terrible for anyone who had any ounce of kind of passion for this franchise, because I was there and I was just getting to the end game part of it, and I was like, I'm ready to go because I'm starting getting really bored. And he was like, it's nearly over, and I was like, oh, thank God. And I feel really bad for anyone that likes Star Wars, because the last one, I don't even know what it was called, was a whole bunch of
that movie.
See, I quite liked the film, but at the same time, I really do not understand what the motivation was of bringing back the Emperor. Like,
it's
a bit
bullshit. Reddit wrote
what
the
was
movie.
all that about?
I don't because we'll just go on a cycle about ranting about Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
that's why I think that
this is when I cut
spiral.
to the next song.
You mean we don't stand for Illuminations or Stars on Parade? It's not our brand.
Well, talking about Illumination,
if you want like a really strong new Star Wars series, I've said this a few times in private chats, but the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars are some of the best Star Wars stories I've seen since the original trilogy. They are absolutely brilliant. They pulled that out of the park like crazy.
All right. Well, on that note, Jeff, it is your turn to pick the song. We're going to take another music break. Tell us about your song. Some of you might have heard it before.
So it is the finale of Disney Dreams. Just because you need that little teary up in your eyes, because that thing is just magical.
Oh,
and
right.
dead.
We'll be back in 3 minutes after the finale of Disney Dreams.
Regardez un peu qui est au bout de mon crochet. L'ombre de Peter Pan. Je t'ai attrapé, petit garnement. Et où est-ce que tu as l'intention d'aller? J'ai attendu trop longtemps.
You old codfish! This time you've gone too far.
Jamais! Prends ça!
Tinkerbell! Come on, Tink! We've got to put the magic back in the star where it belongs.
Non! Non! Je t'aurai, Peter Pan! Même si c'est la dernière chose que je fais!
You're mine, Hook! We did it, Tink! That showed 'em. Sure is good to have you back, Shadow.
Oh, Peter! Tu as retrouvé ton ombre! Et regarde!
That's right, Wendy. The magic's back. Now everyone can fly. Now we can soar beyond the stars. Here we go!
On s'envole, Peter! On s'envole!
do space.
We're back.
So we're talking about. Remember those Star Wars soirees they used to do, like on May the 5th?
Oh god, they were terrible. They like did.
They did it on.
They were like
they did it
there
on
were
May
like
the
100
4th
people
and
in
5th
there
because reasons.
Yeah.
Disney Dreams. It was good to hear it, even though you guys didn't on the show, but or listeners did. Did they use the music from Peter Pan 2 or something in there?
Yes, they did.
The end,
yes.
Right? Because it still plays in Fantasia Gardens, and then sometimes you walk around Fantasia Gardens and you're like,
and you're like, start crying.
Are they playing Disney Dreams? They're not. They're playing Peter Pan 2.
Did Peter Pan 2 have a weird like subtitle like Peter Pan 2 Never Stop, Never Dream, Never Grow Up or something stupid.
And fun fact,
don't stop believing.
The UK was the only country in the world that had that movie.
Patrick, you should do these subtitles for the Disneyland Paris attractions.
That's one of my favorite things, but I know that it gets really unnecessary sometimes.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So, more questions. Eduardo had another question, and it's about Marvel. And we have only seen one concept art for the Iron Man coaster. What are your wishes for this theme? Actually, we've seen two.
Yeah.
But the second one...
in the ride vehicles.
The second one was a bit of a... I don't know.
Why have they never shown that officially? Because if they showed it at that thing but never showed it to us, is there a reason?
Yes.
It wasn't supposed to be released.
Yeah, no, they don't like it.
They don't like it?
They don't like it.
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with it?
They think it's ugly.
It looks great.
I mean, have they seen some of the stuff they actually do build?
Yeah.
So
I thought it looked great.
Listen, I am just telling you what I am being told.
No, but is there something on it that I should be finding hideous?
I think it's not the design of the train. I think they just don't like the artwork and the way it was done and angle and how it looks. And so there's going to be, I think, a new one. I think they ordered a new one. I don't know how long these things take to get made. Apparently a year, but
definitely not.
I don't know.
We are very different people because I thought it looked great.
Well, I think at the moment anyway, official Disney policy is don't say anything about anything.
Right. Well, right now.
Well, the whole Marvel release. The whole Marvel release is being very strictly controlled by Burbank in terms of what's allowed to be announced when and what's being announced together, what's being announced by each resort, blah, blah, blah.
Is it a bit like Ratatouille when they were clearly building and everyone was like, so perhaps they're building. And they're like, what attraction? We're not building anything. It's gone.
Ratatouille, it was even weirder because they did this whole thing where they opened up Toy Story Playland with a path that went around the back that had like Parisian lamps and a massive freaking gusto on the bridge, and everyone went, "Oh look, it's Ratatouille," and they went, "It's Ratatouille what?" And then they just until January the 1st of the year, 2014, they were like, "Yeah, we're not building anything." No,
I mean, this was like
happening
already in the internet age. Like, we're not talking like 1995 when you can just like control the press or whatever. Like, everyone was just posting.
Yeah, like.
It was so stupid. Like, just putting all the basic theming up for Ratatouille when you're launching Toy Story Land. I mean, come on. Like, how stupid do you have to be?
Right. Well, they are.
But going back to Marvel, I feel like it's also Marvel. I think even more than Star Wars at this point is so controlling about what they put out and how it's put out. I mean, today I tweeted the characters in Star Wars costumes, and it was so fun. But the Star Wars brand was like, we're not doing this anymore. Like, we're gonna do Star Wars, proper Star Wars. We're not doing Disney characters dressed as Star Wars now. Marvel allowed the characters to wear like T-shirt and accessories. Like, they were basically guests who went into the shop, and that's kind of like, I feel like super. I don't know how much lobbying they had to do for this, but good job on whoever got this approved, because Marvel is super controlling.
I was amazed they actually got that.
Super
I think
controlling.
What we're saying about Galaxy's Edge missing something. I feel like a campus has a really great opportunity to kind of correct that, because especially in Disneyland Paris, it's kind of really hard to meet a Marvel character. So if things go with hand and have that meet and greet and have a little show here or there, and maybe have like kind of maybe a free set of like every day having like a Marvel character that'll come and visit the campus and like go for like random photo-ups. I feel like if that happens, they're going like, oh my god, this is the HQ for Avengers in Europe. Like that could really kind of change compared to like Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, the image is from. So Ash sent an image. If you're in the chat, you can see it as well, and I sent it to everyone. Yeah, it's a meme about Ratatouille. Yeah,
Did you just make this?
Yeah, I guess Ash just made it. Yeah, I know, he's good.
Well done, Ash. I feel like Ash is so talented. I love it.
Ash has so much talent. He's like a developer extraordinaire. But I know.
Start making those princess t-shirts, Ash. I swear to God, if not,
I don't actually understand what Ash does for a living. It's something about video games, creation things, universe, worlds.
He's a social media manager. He manages like projects on social media and stuff.
Oh my god! Can he apply for Disneyland Paris? I feel like it'd be better.
I feel really good at it because he at least knows what Disneyland Paris is, and he's not like, where Disneyland Paris.
Snap. Well, no, the marketing guys are too busy being like in their underwear on Instagram. Anyway, so he did apply.
It's more true than you know. Casual.
You need to show me some ads.
Oh yeah, I'll send you all of them. Because most of them are traveling around Europe and posting photos in their Speedos. Anyways, so Iron Man coaster. What do we want? I feel like the way. So the setup, when you look at the blueprints, the setup really hasn't changed that much. So we're gonna come in and we're gonna have this pre-show with hopefully a cool animatronic that's gonna tell us why we're here.
It's a new building, that pre-show. It's not in the same room.
Yes, it's the same.
It's quite small. Yeah.
My expectations for this is low.
I'm just curious to know what is the story going to be. Are we going to be testing a new suit? And so, Tony Stark built a machine. Maybe Tony Stark is going to want to make suits for everyone, and so he needs a lot of different people to test his suit technology, and then we get on the trains, which looks like a suit, and we just get thrown across New York.
I'm really not sure what to think of this.
You know what I mean? I feel like Avengers Campus is all about, R&D. Like the whole thing, basically the theme of the land is research and development, right? So like at Spider-Man, we're going to try this thing, like, I don't know, like throwing spiderwebs, and then in the restaurant, we're going to be trying the, I don't know if it's shrinking or oversized food or whatever, and then in Iron Man,
we're going to go so well in Paris, that isn't it?
We're going to be trying. Well, don't worry. It will become. Avengers Pizza Outposts.
We shrunk it because we microwaved with moisture out.
We're laughing. They do actually have that. To be fair, though, you can see a pizza oven.
By 2022, we'll have Avengers Pizza Outposts. We can get a star pizza.
Literally, like the Paris food and beverage team are looking after it as well. So it's like legit Paris who's going to be looking after it, like the food and stuff there.
Oh god! But I feel like the Marvel brand behind it is going to be like, no, you cannot do this.
I think it only hope.
We have decided to do cod soup.
To be fair, Black Panther ice cream, so like anything can happen.
I mean, I should put this on the record. I feel like cod soup is going to be on the menu when Frozen Land opens.
Oh, disgusting.
No.
That cute kiosk that just right outside the attraction is going to have cod soup. In the same packaging.
Does anyone want cod soup?
No.
Someone has tried it. I think.
I don't think I actually saw anyone buying it.
No, someone tried it and said it wasn't really that bad.
I think it's like a restaurant.
It's more like a chowder, isn't it?
Yeah, like at a restaurant, but not like in a theme park walking around. It's not like
let's go to Disneyland and get cod chowder.
I'll be honest, right? So if your review of the food is, you know what, it really wasn't that bad. Like that's not. Oh, that was great.
That's
not as bad as I thought it was.
That is okay. Not. And I mean, as Disneyland Paris fans, that's the best compliment you can get. Like, oh, the snacks for the seasons, they weren't bad. Like that's like the top. I feel like you've reached the top level of compliment. Like it wasn't bad, so that means that it's a success. Whether in the US, if it's just not bad, they're like, okay, we're gonna scrap that tomorrow.
Other fans complaining.
Yeah.
But, okay, success.
Ash says maybe the Iron Man attraction could be themed after Tony Stark's prototype public transport system of tomorrow. They could even call it the People Mover.
Yeah. but when this attraction was going to be the Spider-Man coaster, like they had loads of giant skyscrapers she was swinging between. Like,
kind of make
really
more
cool.
sense.
But I mean, Iron Man also kind of evolves in like New York city.
So could it still be the same thing?
Said about Space Mountain, though, in the fact that, like, I don't personally, but this again is just me. If it's kind of semi-teamed to Iron Man and it's a roller coaster, I don't really care. Like, and else I'm like, great, I'm gonna go on a roller coaster. It's gonna be fun. Like,
I don't find that roller coaster a pleasant experience. I do not enjoy rock.
I mean, to be honest,
the track layout is not going to change. So
the thing that I have is when I do the ride in like Walibi, which has freaking amazing theming in the queue line, and then I did Rock and Roller Coaster. I preferred like the one in Walibi. I didn't like Rock and Roller Coaster's theming at all. So I mean,
but so there's no theming in the one in Walibi outside, and the one in
Rock is really bad.
But isn't Walibi the one where you just go, like, you get into the tunnel and then as soon as you enter that exit that first kind of acceleration, you're just outside for the rest of it?
Yeah, that's true. But there's a whole story to it, to like that you're in an abandoned underground metro station, and I don't know, I can't remember because I haven't done it in like 2 years. But the whole queue line experience is so intensive that it doesn't matter that the ride is so simple. Whereas with Rock and Roller Coaster, the theming is just, it just lacked in general.
Do you remember when they did it to Stars on Parade? Stars on Parade. That was the best thing. It was so fun.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It worked. Bizarrely worked.
I'm just excited for the new facade.
The facade looks stunning.
Didn't they also do it with that like rave mix of Tower of Terror once as well?
Yeah, the 10th anniversary mix.
Yeah.
I miss that being a thing for the party. So just stick some music and turn the lights off in Rock and Roll.
And then
it's always like, what's it going to be tonight?
Literally.
Let's actually forget the music.
That Tower of Terror thing was brilliant. That poor cast member, when he opened the door and he was like, "Did everyone enjoy it?" And we were like, "No."
I can say that
so
I've written Tower of Terror on maintenance mode. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but
with them holding their phones to the onboard audio microphone.
Right.
Oh yeah, and you could just.
I have written maintenance mode on Tower of Terror, and the weirdest thing was, it wasn't even an accident; it was intentional.
Classic Disneyland Paris answer. No, we meant to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bought a ticket for this. Okay,
all right.
Oh man. So Iron Man coaster, low expectations from the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
it's hard to change anything because the track layout is not going to change.
Yeah.
Pre-show size is not going to change, and the loading area is not going to change. So they're really going to have to work really hard.
For me, that's the biggest thing, right? Because
New York buildings, like some New York sets that you're going to be flying between.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're
going to lift the original concept and floor
that room is so tight. Like,
so tight.
As long as you don't sit in the tunnel at the end for ages waiting to get to the station.
Yeah.
That's such an abrupt end to that ride, and you're sitting there going.
For me, the biggest thing is the only reason really my expectations are low. I'm sure they'll do a fine job, but I just think it's not a great coaster.
Yeah, but I mean, it's there, right? So something had to be done with it.
Yeah, I think even just the facade and the fact that it's gonna like light up at nighttime. I feel like it's gonna be like a mini kind of like Tomorrowland, where it's gonna kind of in Shanghai, where it's just gonna like make a bit more life at nighttime, which is gonna be like a fantastic place to be like, okay, like even in Shanghai for Tomorrowland, the music syncs with the light show that the Tron building goes on. So like if they do anything even close to that, I would be like, that's a win. Like regardless
I think it will. You know, the concept art that we saw in the permits and all the stuff that we saw in the permits is just made for the permits. They're really bare bones, and they don't show any of the theming. So there are other concept arts that people have been shown in secret rooms, I think just before the lockdown in January, and people were really amazed by them. So, stay tuned.
I do think it will look nice. Like, for me, it's literally just that I think the ride is a bit average.
Yeah. Talking about just the ride,
you can't change.
Your experience on the ride, I mean, they might have different harnesses that are closer to the Space Mountain ones. Those sort of like rubber.
They're nice.
Yeah, and they might change that, but the trains are only the front and the back are leaving Paris to be redone, and the middle they're just painting them in Paris. So it's not going to be that different.
I don't know. I just figure it's going to feel just like an overlay, and like that's
one thing they're doing, and Ashley says he'll be happy if the ride vehicle is smoother. They are replacing the tracks, so they're removing all the tracks and putting new ones in. So that's that at least, because I think that's just maintenance, and that's something that should have been done for Space Mountain, and which hasn't. And now Space Mountain is just back at being a bit, rough.
But could they slightly change the layout if they needed to with that, or is it going to be exactly the same?
No.
It's going to be exactly the same, yeah.
It's intentional to actually change the layout.
Is it Vekoma who does the ride?
Yeah.
Vekoma, yeah.
Oh, okay. But the problem is that to build a coaster, you have to have huge concrete anchor inside the ground.
Yeah.
And if they were going to change that, they would have to destroy all the outside of the
there's pictures of...
And then remove all the concrete, and then basically they would have to flatten the whole thing if you want to change those concrete blocks.
It's really difficult to underestimate this, but it is extremely tightly packed in there.
Very. Like when you see it with the lights on, like if you ever seen it with lights on, it is like there's no room to breathe in there, like put anything in there. Like it is so enclosed in a box.
Well, hopefully they make good use of like recent technology, like HD LED screen. You could have like wrapped around LED screens. You could have there's plenty of options.
Fast.
There's plenty of options
like, you
now
move
that
so fast on that coaster.
Yeah, like, they could fit things in. Look at
I think it's almost telling. Is it telling that we're still now almost a year from potential opening and we have no idea what they're actually doing?
No, that's pretty normal for a new attraction.
Well, not really, because we knew what Spider-Man was.
I think this summer they were going to show some more of Avengers Campus, but now, obviously...
Yeah, but we know what Spider-Man was because it was meant to be opening in California.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's why.
And if you think about it, Paris hasn't really released much Spider-Man except a few concept arts. Most of the Spider-Man we've seen comes from the US.
From a Paris sort of, the way they've always marketed attractions is they are very unlikely to do anything before January because that's when people will start booking.
Yeah. And also they don't want to cannibalize their other seasons before. That's such a big worry for Paris because a lot of people come for short breaks. In the US, especially for Disney World, a lot of people plan their vacation a year in advance. But in Paris, I think the planning window is much shorter, so they don't want people to not book Christmas or not book spring because they've already started promoting Avengers Campus in the summer.
Yeah, the only real reason why Paris has ever given us anything is A, to throw the fans a little bone. They do that every so often as well. And B, because they wanted to show something at that big industry event, the IAPA Expo.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally it.
And they showed the wrong thing at the cocktail party. Well done. All right, so we're going to go to another song because we're already at 2 hours and 15. And the next song is Elliot's. Elliot, tell us about your song, which is 4 minutes, but that's okay. We can all take a break.
Live the Magic from Disneyland Resort, their 60th anniversary song, which was part of Disneyland Forever.
Yeah, and that show did not run for very long. I loved the show. And it came back last summer randomly when we were there. But
thanks the Lord.
Thank you.
I really loved that show. I thought it had like a lot of heart, and it was really cute. Yeah. So
I was shocked. I never thought I'd get to see that show ever.
I know,
right? I was so happy.
Magic
like one of the best recent park songs that they've done for like a show.
We love you just tomorrow.
Legit. Legit.
All right, so we'll be back in 4 minutes after Live the Magic.
Imagination? We got a lot of that around here. Right, Tinkerbell? Oh, atta girl, Tink. Sprinkle your pixie dust. Let's show them just how magical this place can be. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Where you belong, where you can dream aloud, your heart will follow.
Get up and sing along. The moment's here and now.
Inside we all know if we believe in the fantasy, it will carry us away, carry us away. You and me making memories today. Step into the magic, watch the story come to life. This is a celebration. Every color shines so bright. Turn on your light. Come on and live the magic. So much to find. Come on and live the magic. When we're dreaming here together under a brilliant sky, there's a feeling that brings our hearts to watch the story come to life. Step into the magic. Every color shines so bright. Step into the Turn on your light. Come on and live the magic. So much to find. Come on and live the magic. We believe in the fantasy. It will carry us away, carry us away. You and me making memories today.
All right, welcome back to our last segment. That song is really epic. I forgot how good it was. Also, I don't think
That's why I picked it.
I don't think I've heard that whole mix all together.
But to answer your question, that source audio has never high quality leaked ever.
Yeah, because I was like, it's a bit. I think I have like a better quality of the whole show.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever actually like come up though, like actual.
But this is the actual song altogether. There's like a part in the middle that is not any actual show.
Did you know they got the cast of Magical Map to record that song? It's actually like 2 Disneyland Resort vocalists, which I thought was really
really?
cool.
Such a Disneyland thing.
I know.
Also, the lady at the beginning, the announcer who talks about the orange groves, and she's the Imagineering story lady, isn't she?
Oh,
same voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
There you go. Fun
fact.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, that does make sense now.
So for the last segment, we have a question from Mark at the Fam Years, and it's a question for all of us, and for each of the gang. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense. When did you first go to a Disneyland, a Disney resort, a Disney theme park? And what keeps you going back? As a follow-up, is it a continuation of childhood fascination, substitution, distraction from grown-up life? Like, why? How did you get started, and why do you keep going? So maybe.
Oh boy, this is deep.
Should we go? Wow, yeah. I'll start, and I'll try to make the story short. I think it was like infused in me when I was a kid. My parents took me to Disney World when I was 5 and Disneyland when I was 6, and then. Kind of like I had the Disney book club. I always had Disney around me without really realizing it was all around me. And then when Disneyland Paris opened, Euro Disney opened in '92, I was exposed to the TV shows, the campaign, and I was like harassing my parents to go. And it took like 3 years for me to go in '95. But I was hooked when it came to Europe. And then later in life, when I lived in New York, Disney World was my local park, and so I spent many summers there. And yeah, I mean, it's always been around since then. That's the whole story. Who's next? Jeff.
So I first went in 98, 99, maybe. Can't remember. One of them. It's just as Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was new, so whenever that was. And I remember staying in Santa Fe because. Were
you already obsessed, or did you just randomly go like as ticking off your list?
So it's just somewhere that I went, but I can't say that was where I got the obsession from. I think I went again in 01. I remember like seeing they had this wall that was themed to a film strip, and the little holes in the film strip were like viewports where you could look out onto the construction. That was cool. And then I think I started to become a real fan around the 15th anniversary, which was amazing and just brilliant. And I have been visiting regularly since 2012. And by regularly, I mean so I lived in France in 2012, and I was going, most days, I'll be honest, because I lived about 10 minutes away.
Is that when DLP Report started?
No, actually, that started a little bit later. So I moved back to the UK in 2013. Yeah. And that's when I started it. And then I actually moved back to France for a year. And then, I don't know. Why do I keep going? I guess I just like it.
Where did you live, Jeff? What town?
Look.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So,
who's next?
Yeah.
Darren. I feel like Darren has a big story.
Oh, wow. When did I first go? 1991 I first went with my parents used to go a lot and to Florida. And I remember it's Disney World's 20th anniversary, and we were there on the 1st of October. And that was one of my earliest memories, if you like. And they had this big, huge show, and it was the surprise celebration parade. And there were planes flying up. 20 magical years, and surprises and everything, planes flying across. And that completely pulled me in from that point. And then a lot like yourself, Ben, it was like the whole thing around Euro Disney and the television and the whole marketing campaign just got me. And going to Euro Disney in 92 just pulled me in completely. And then I was a fan, just kept on going. I had a few quiet years, maybe, I don't know, sort of around 2005-ish. I didn't really go much. And then I think I met you, Richie, actually. And then I met you in Brighton. Yeah. And then I just started meeting loads of other fans, and it just built from there. And so it's kind of like going and meeting friends, and just that just keeps me pulling me in. But yeah, ever since '91, probably. Yeah,
I think that's kind of one of the things as well for me, right? The people are so good, like
yeah.
Without getting too emotional about it,
the
people who are Disney fans, like they're really interesting people typically, and it's great to talk to anyone who's interested.
Yeah.
And we all have kind of a different background and different, everything, but we all like get together around the same topic, so it's cool. What about you, Elliot?
So I always pestered my parents.
Story time.
10 minutes later.
We're gonna hit 3 hours this week.
Let me get on with it, man. So my parents very much belonged to the club where it was sort of like you'd go once, like a typical British family, go once, stay in DLH, put it on Facebook,
same as my parents,
you know.
Oh my gosh, they put it on Facebook already.
Whoa.
Right. Okay. So I'd always pester them to go back, and they'd be like, "We've been already." I'm like, "Yeah, but no, this year they're doing like Dreams." They're like, "No, we took you to the New Generation Festival." That was my first visit. And I remember the TV ad campaign where it was like all the characters parachuting into DLP, which was actually a really cool ad. And then I was like, well, they were like, fine, like we'll take you to Florida when you're a bit older because we want you to be able to go on all the roller coasters, blah blah blah. And then I got my job at Apple, so I was suddenly rich. And I could afford. I could go, haha, suckers! I don't need you anymore. I can go myself. Obviously, I was still 16 though, so I had to convince my nan to come with me. Bless her. Yeah. And I remember loads of you have met my nan on these trips.
I love your nan.
Go alone. I know. And
we love Bob.
She was like, bless her, she was literally like, she would do anything and like walk around the parks all day, and like, I took her on Big Thunder Mountain, telling her it was like a dark ride. But then like my mum was like, at that point we booked Disney World, and she was like, why are you going to DLP all the time when we're going to Disney World next year? Like she doesn't get, at that point she didn't get like that it was different, you know, and I had friends and that I was meeting cast members, you guys, etc. So essentially, she says now she understands it, and she's happy that it's my interest. But then obviously, I went to Disneyland last year, and I go far too often. Like I think last year my average was once every 3 weeks, which is probably too bad.
It's okay, live your dream. You know, if you have the time and the money, just do it. Why not? You know, there's no.
Gotta spend that money on something.
No judgment from this crowd, you know.
Yeah, right. Trust me.
Who's next? Richie.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like mine was quite similar to Darren's in a way, in the sense of like I went quite when I was a kid. So I think my first trip was in '97, I believe it was. And then I went for quite a few consecutive years. I think I went like 97, 98, 99, 2000 and 2001. Then we kind of had a break. And I went to Disney World a couple of years in a row, around like 2004 and 2005. And then around then, it's quite similar to Darren, I had a massive break from Disney. And it was because, I can't remember what it was. Like to be honest with you, it's kind of weird. I grew up just with those few Disney trips. But then the majority of me growing up around theme parks was actually at Portaventura in Spain. And it's kind of strange.
I love that park.
Yeah, I feel like my love for parks, like actual theme parks rather than Disney Park itself, kind of grew from that park. I mean, it's an amazingly themed park. You know what I mean? It's beautiful and things like that. It's that kind of generated from there. And then, I don't know, like I grew up, I went to uni, that kind of thing, like interest in theme parks kind of dwindled away, all that kind of things changed. And then I found myself slowly getting back into like theme park things. That spiraled into going down rabbit holes in YouTube, looking at like Imagineering stuff and Disney Park secrets and all this kind of stuff. And then eventually started going back to the parks in about 2014, 2015, I think it was. And then again, it's exactly the same as Darren. You know, you slowly meet people, and that leads to meeting more people. And then it just sort of uncontrollably spirals.
Just meet people through people, isn't it?
Because we all sort of met each other at the same time, which is...
I feel like, which is interesting. Like,
I think what also helps.
It's a spider web of people.
What also helped around that time was the annual passes that came out, because I think that gave us all an opportunity to go a lot more, as in the Infinity, the new style, the hotel discounts for that first year were incredible. Really,
and we all sort of worked out, wait, if we all go together, that kind of makes our trips 3/4 less expensive, so we can go 4 times more.
So we went a lot.
But it was kind of like a weird spider web of people when it all comes together, because like I said earlier, like I first met Ben during the 25th anniversary press weekend. But what's funny is that I was with Sebastian then, and now obviously Sebastian's co-founder of DLP Report, and I don't know, it's just kind of strange how things have always sort of spider web out and brought everyone together, kind of I don't know, it's interesting, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think
I met you, Richie, on the Eurostar of all places.
Probably.
We've all met you on the Eurostar, Jeff.
I remember that one time how me and Darren were on the same Eurostar. Didn't even realise. We just got into our carriage. We were like, "Oh, it's Darren."
Oh, absolutely! Literally the same carriage.
Oh my god, we did that. Do you remember that first New Year's Eve hard ticket party? You got on. I was like, just sit next to me.
I just sat next to you. That's right.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Things like that happened, and then I think it's taken a couple of years, but now everyone's just sort of gelled together and stuff, and I don't know, it's just kind of nice. I feel like the Paris quote unquote fan community is quite unique in a way, with the sense of it's a relatively small community.
We're small but big at the same time. It's really weird.
Yeah. Because everyone kind of knows each other, do you know what I mean? And that's kind of...
I don't think you could ever be in the park on your own. I don't think...
Not anymore.
That's possible anymore, no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I always bump into
people. It's only been over sort of the past 3 years, which is really interesting. But
it's something I always when I look back at it, it's gone in a flash, do you know what I mean? And you look back to me starting to go again in 2014 to 15, then you flash forward 5 years later, and the difference between those 5 years from what it was and you going back then, just totally outside of the park's knowledge and stuff like that, going completely almost blind again, to be honest. It was 10.
No more free drinks after lunch.
What about you, David?
No.
Is David still?
Yeah. So my first trip was to DLP in '95, I think it was, because I sent that Space Mountain advert.
Same as me.
And that was I remember that advert before I went on holiday the first time. I can vividly remember.
I remember it too.
And I liked DLP, but my love was when my mum and dad took me to Disney World in '97. So my first memory of Disney World was the birthday cake castle. And I was so confused I was so confused when I went back in 2001 and it wasn't a birthday cake anymore. So everyone hates that birthday cake, but I've always got a little thing for it. Just because it was my first trip there. And from there, it was every 3-4 years I would go to Florida or Paris. And then in 2015, I went to DLP and bought a fantasy pass because it was 140 euros or something ridiculous.
For the days.
Whole year. And then I started to get into Twitter. I joined Twitter and started talking to people. Then I went to a meetup, and Jeff was actually the first person I ever met out of this whole
really?
community. Yeah, you were the first person I met at one of those meetups. And then you just get talking to people, because to be honest, if I hadn't met everyone, I wouldn't go to DLP as often as I do. I go because of my friends that go.
None of us, right? I mean, it's
it's a social thing as much as anyone else.
Yeah, it really
is. It's a social thing. Yeah.
I also love to go to the parks by myself. When I go to Disney World, I always plan a couple days by myself, just so I can do whatever I want. We don't have to deal with people what they want to do. But for Paris,
that either.
For Paris, I mean, even if you're trying to go by yourself, like you said before, chances are you're not you're gonna know someone.
You can't. Very long.
I would like to thank Victoria's.
I've got to Paris, done 0 rides in 3 days because we've just been.
I've done that before.
Same.
I'd like to thank Victoria for opening a boozer in the center of the park.
And it's also really nice having a big bunch of enablers around you that understand when you want to spend all your money on this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that in the rest of my life. Other people are like, "Why are you going again?" or "Why do you spend so much money going to these places?" And I just text you guys and I'm like, "I want to go to Disneyland," and you're like, "Yeah, you should go."
Yeah, of course. What about you, Viv? You have like a career at Disney.
I mean, I do now.
Yeah.
No, I first went in 2002 when I was 4, or like, I think it was, I was 4. Then I went in 2005, and I remember that more than 2002. Like, all I remember is being scared of Sheriff of Nottingham at a character breakfast in Annette's Diner, and yeah, that's all I remember from my first trip. And then after 2005, I think I had like a few break years, and then I went like about every year from 2007 or like 2008. And then in 2013, we bought annual passes and went at least twice a year. And then by the time... Yeah.
It's like everyone's enabler is like, you have the annual pass, you're like, well, I have to use it.
Yeah. I think it helps that...
6 visits later.
I mean, it helps that my mom really loves Disney. Like, she's the one who was like, last year, she was like, okay, we're going to go do like this Christmas, and then we'll do next year in December, we'll do Hotel New York. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, she really brings it in the family as well. But then obviously I started studying theme park management, and I could have gone to Walt Disney World, do the college program in 2018. But something told me I shouldn't, and I should just do Paris. And I think like starting to work there in Hotel New York, it really made me like appreciate it all more.
Taught you a lot about theme park management. How not to do it.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah. I mean, but like, yeah, I think it was a smart choice doing Paris instead of college program, because that's the reason they gave me this contract. And yeah, I think when I met I think it was Elliot I met first from all of you, but I might be wrong.
I remember the day I met you, and you were complaining that I posted Moana and she was gone.
Classic.
Like literally, I didn't really know who you were.
She is not there anymore. Holiday ruined.
Yeah, I didn't know who you were, and like I was like, oh, this is my friend Viv, and you were like, yeah, you posted Moana and she's been gone for 15 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay.
Back in the days, but
yes.
I generally think it was Elliot I met first, but I'm not sure.
No, because I met you on my birthday at Billy Bob's, and it was Richie who knew you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mix shit up, but
I think I know Elliot.
I generally didn't know which of you two I met first, but I think from that it just flowed, and I just went more and more. And I think last year I went way too much.
There's no such thing.
Girl.
Come on. But it's funny because I feel like all those stories are always all like, we all have like different reasons where we started going, but in the end, now we all keep going because of all the people, I think, mostly, and because
definitely true.
To just like see each other. And I mean, we live in all different parts of UK, France, Europe, everywhere, and we all meet up over there basically.
I think the reason I just started going so much last year is just because Talise came into my life and was only €30 to go to Paris, like to go to Disney directly, and
can't relate.
That made it really cheap.
Well, like £130 for us, but each way.
I mean, you can get a round trip on Eurostar for like 80 something if you plan super in advance.
I know. That's how I feel. To be fair, I always book £29 fares, and that's how I can go every 3 weeks. But.
Do you guys think the Eurostar is going to get more expensive or less expensive when it reopens?
Know.
I think it will be more expensive.
But in another,
it's hard to be too much more. It was already going up in price like crazy.
But if there's not many travelers, they might try to have a lot of promotion so that more people travel. Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like less people at £60 each way, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure they pay per train and not per passenger. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff.
So you want to try to fill up the train as much as possible?
Through the tunnel, they charge the tunnel as per train,
Exactly. So if they charge per train, it makes more sense to have more people paying less than less people paying more.
Yeah. But I think they can't really fluctuate the prices too much once Disney starts rolling again, simply because all those people who are supposed to go now got vouchers for Eurostar as well.
Exactly.
And those probably don't want to pay like too much more, so it wouldn't work like throwing the price up so much.
Yeah.
But it might be wrong.
I guess we will see very soon.
There'll be government incentives as well to initiate travel again, and they might ask these travel providers to do certain prices, tax breaks or whatever,
Yeah.
I have started flying to Paris because it is just so much cheaper now. Like,
Yeah,
I
but you have
fly.
the hassle
Even from here,
to,
it's so much
you know.
like.
Eurostar's so easy. You can leave the park
It
after
is.
parade and then you're in bed by
I know
9:30.
that there is a real hassle, but at the same time, like,
It's so
sometimes
much
you're looking
cheaper.
at me
But I suppose
saving
for
about
us living
£100.
in, like, London, it's
Exactly,
easy
yeah.
for us. But like for anyone who lives outside London, you've got to actually travel to London to get the Eurostar. So it might actually be easier for you to travel to an airport. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
When I
Well,
lived in
yeah,
Brighton,
but,
I used to go past Gatwick on the way to the Eurostar. It's like, what am I doing? Like,
Like,
used to drive you.
I'm going at Christmas.
yeah, that's when we started going to Ebbsfleet, and I was like, that's the best.
Ebbsfleet was great.
But at least when
Yeah.
you
I'm
can get
going
your
at New
passport,
Year's.
you can go on the train back.
Yeah, I'm going for New Year's Eve, and look, I'm spending about £50 return on a flight. That is insanely cheap.
That's cheap.
That's a good night out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never flown before ever.
I've also
Really?
booked New Year's Eve.
How did you get to Los Angeles, Elliot? You
Oh,
swim?
Paris.
I'm just changing my flight for a Princess Run weekend. So
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm just going to move it
this
to.
really cool thing, and like
move it straight forward to
all the
April
baggage
next
to
year.
99 pence. Like,
Oh, do we know the dates for the new princesses? Oh, yeah, we do.
No.
No. I think it might be completely cancelled.
I think it's dead.
Yeah.
Think,
That's what I
It's
assume.
dead, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm about
because
to
that was
cancel
supposed to be
well.
this weekend.
And I
It's-
doubt they will
yeah.
do it. Yeah.
my birthday.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my
But
god!
No, it was like the
this year's
9th.
flying.
It was the 9th.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah,
This coming
this
weekend.
weekend
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, this coming weekend. Yeah.
But to be
My
fair,
goodness.
I doubt they would do Run Disney Weekend on such a busy weekend again. Because, like, a lot of countries would have school holidays now as well. So,
But now it's
It's
gonna
quite-
become a. Oh, you mean like the princess one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah,
That's
it was
what
kind of
Disney
an
did.
odd choice, but hey.
Yeah, I just. I
All
tried,
right, guys.
but
We're
Do I
gonna
not
hit.
get to-
We're
do
gonna
I
hit
not
3
get-
hours.
What about Patrick?
Do I not get to answer the question?
I am so sorry, Patrick. I am so
for
sorry.
you.
Oh
That's
no.
so mean.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, my God.
Totally not on purpose.
Eh.
Ben just wants to go to bed.
I want to go to bed. It's like 10 o'clock.
Well, okay. Good night, everybody. I have never visited Disneyland Paris before. That's
no, Patrick. Please tell
There
me
you
the
go.
story.
I was sitting here really enjoying listening to everyone's stories. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And Ben's like, right, finish the show. Like,
Patrick doesn't get a story. Bye bye.
bye. See you all. Have a nice
You have 18 minutes, so you can go.
Well, I don't even know if I should now.
Yes, please.
no.
please.
I want to hear.
Well, basically, I compared to everyone else, I started very, very late. We weren't poor when I was little, but we had nowhere near enough money to go on. Like, my first foreign holiday was like to Spain, and I was like 15. It was like, anyway, we had the videos at home, and we had like the Epcot. You know the way they had Walt Disney World, like promos before, like the classics on VHS cassette and whatever. VHS cassettes were like these tape things.
Oh my God, yes.
Do you remember that? I don't think they
I still
those
have
before,
them.
like,
They
This is
send
for
you like
Elliot's benefit.
a free video.
I
right?
had
Is
a
that what it is?
VHS
it was
cassette.
like a DVD, but you had to rewind it.
Yeah,
Oh
So,
my gosh, sorry.
so
The
my
hassle on
my first time ever in Disney was in 2014, because I actually I'd be living in France for like 6 years, and about 6 years at that time, and I actually just bullied my partner to take me, and my partner was like, okay, let's go. And I was like, well, that was easy. So yeah, I my first park was Walt Disney Studios, which I don't really like telling people, because we met some friends, and the friends were like, I don't want to do the Castle Park. I only want to do the one with the roller coasters. So I was like, I don't really care. I'm going to Disneyland. And we were
That
we were
one
going for
roller
2
coaster.
Yeah, well, we were going for 2 days, so it was like, fuck it, we'll just do one park. That was because there was like a cheap offer on. Well, of course, there was like €35 for one park a day or something. So we did that, and it was like cheap.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I think the thing, so that was in 2014, and then I brought my parents in 2016 because I'd been toying about going back, but I wasn't rich enough to like get an AP or whatever. And then I think the 2016 I met some people, and then like everyone else said, I think the main thing that kind of kept me on my back, especially the 25th anniversary. It was 25th anniversary was the first time I became an AP holder, and and I met so many.
The 25th anniversary.
Yeah, the reason why I love it is because not specifically because of what it was, but mainly because of the kind of because of the time in my life, and I like in France, like as anyone who's lived in a foreign country knows, it's quite hard to make friends, and it was really cool to be able to go to Disneyland, Paris, and kind of like meet these people that really liked what you liked. And the whole thing was like the first time I went, I was for 2 days I was completely in the bubble and I was not thinking about my problems, and that's kind of what got me hooked on it. And then meeting people that really liked it as well, and then the 25th anniversary was really important because I met I obviously got talking to Ben, and then Pirates and Princesses and stuff like that, where I got to meet like really cool people like Ash and people that like kind of would hang out with you, and they're like cool. And then you guys, and it was really, really cool. And I kind of it's hard to say, and that hasn't been said already, but it's nice for people to kind of like accept who you are, because I might have some really good friends of mine that are like, but why do you like Disney? Whereas like if I talk to you guys, you're like, oh my god, you should totally go to Disney. So it's nice just to kind of feel like a bit normal, and not because the way all these people are mad into football and they go on like football holidays.
Yeah, that's not me.
And I'm like, no, but like everyone kind of looks at people who go on holidays to follow their football team when they play abroad as like, oh, it's a normal thing to do. Whereas like when you tell people, oh my god, I want to go to Hong Kong Disneyland, everyone's like, but why? Like it's kind of nice to have the kind of the validation and support from people who kind of
Yeah, I think you like what you said about the 20th anniversary as well. Like, what a time to I think that boosted everyone to really take it back up again, because everything looked amazing. It was exciting. It was fresh.
Well, we have another one in 2 years, people.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do this. Patrick, do you think if you were a bigger Disneyland Paris fan when you moved to Paris, do you think you would have got an apartment closer to the resort?
Well, that's kind of what I did then, because then my job, obviously, as people know, I'm a teacher, and without going into the ends of it, I lived 500 kilometers away from Disneyland Paris, so getting there was trains in France are not cheap.
Just further away than us, ironically.
But sometimes it's expensive to travel, so I wasn't able to go very often. And then what I did was I actually applied for a position that was where I live now, which is an hour away, and the main reason was because I thought, well, if they can put me anywhere in France and they can put me somewhere I don't want to go, I'm going to try and choose somewhere that I kind of do want to go. So that's why I ended up choosing where I long term, I would love to be able to work inside Disneyland Paris, but let's be real, I'm a civil servant and I can't pay Marne-la-Vallée prices. So I kind of think it's kind of nice that I'm able to just drive and not have to pay really, really expensive rent, and I'm able to go every weekend or anytime I want to. So yeah, I feel like I got the best deal out of anything I could ever wanted. So I'm really happy.
You should teach the learning program.
Oh. Yeah, Ben told me that's a thing. Wow.
Apparently, it's only for French people now, though. Like people who first language is French instead of the other way around.
What's the point of the learning program then?
They learn English.
They can still do that.
Because they change. It's open to all departments now. Well, it was going on in all departments, and then the food and beverage, I still think, was still the original program with English people learning French, but all other departments that offer it are French people learning English.
Huh.
Well, I can teach English. It's kind of my job. I studied in 5 years to do it.
You should teach English at Disney. You would teach all the customers how to speak English.
I can figure it out.
Cheesecake.
New career.
Cheesecake.
All right. Well, believe it or not, we have 11 minutes left allowed to broadcast. I think it's the first one we're about to hit the limits.
Damn it.
Thank you for that question. I feel like that was a really cool question, and I really enjoyed it.
It was a really good question. Yeah. We should do more of these next time. Not the same, but talk about while we do all the things we do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. The last song is David's selection. David, tell us about your song.
I was so nervous you were going to pick Richie's instead.
No,
it's
this is the right one. This is the correct one.
Fantasmic Finale, so there's no better way to finish the podcast than
It's actually
Finale.
the exit music. Is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't send you anything, so I can't be that picky. So
I figured that's the end of the show, so exit music and everything.
Yeah, anything Fantasmic's good. So.
All right, so thank you guys for joining in this week. We'll see you next week because I'm sure we will still be stuck at home, at least in UK. In France, I don't know. Patrick, maybe
I'll be back in France next week.
Maybe Patrick will be out partying on the streets. Probably not.
Next Sunday night, I'm just going to do a massive countdown, and as soon as it's midnight, I'm just going to run into the streets and tear all my clothes off and be like, oh, I can go outside again. And then, I just want to go outside now.
Wow. Please take a video.
Your eyes, people of the west of France. Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for listening. And we will see you next week. All right. Goodbye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.